two of a dessert. He's like, yeah, I'd have a bite or two.
This is Friday night, right?
Saturday night.
Okay, so it's Saturday
night. And so we got a nice slice of key lime pie, which we split. And by split, I ate 94% of it. I think he had one bite of it.
Did you have coffee? A little coffee
I did not have coffee.
Key lime.
I had an old-fashioned at the end. We Ubered. It was perfect.
Oh, it's great.
Take the Uber back to the place.
Yeah.
I turned on, watched the NFL highlights from the day. It was basically a perfect
night.
day.
How about the bowling alleys? Are they oiled?
There's a bowling alley on every third block in Palm Springs.
Maybe.
And I don't know if I'm just plugged in because of DeAndre, and he was saying it, but
maybe DeAndre's
everywhere I go, I'm like,
bowling alley.
bowling alley. Do old people like to bowl that much? Because everybody out there is 146 years old, but it was they must like to bowl. There's plenty of places.
That sounds like listen, if I'm 65 years old, I'm down to just let's
their children
be in
were
a
65 years old.
It's
It's Palm Springs, man. It's it's a retirement community in large part, but it was great.
I'm still amazed. Like Michael probably walking around now. He looks at some restaurants. He's like, how are these things open? How is it not just a fine dining steakhouse at every corner?
There are some people. So I realized this too as I grew up. That there are soda families and there are water for the table families. And my family was definitely a water for the table family as we go on. I just think it's kind of funny to realize because. There's a TikTok trend of people being like, my soda boyfriend came to meet my water family and like ordered way too much food and stuff. Yeah, it's just kind of restaurant stuff is interesting.
Well, it's interesting how you grow up, right?
For
like
sure.
Whatever that was, like everybody has the words.
I'll take the 12-ounce filet medium rare. Never came out of my mouth when I was 17.
Oh hell no!
No, that's not what it was. But we had a good time, and he got a few hits. It was a good weekend. It's a good weekend.
You said weather was perfect?
Weather was perfect. Came back, did the Rams game yesterday. Rams looked good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know how great they looked yesterday,
they're
but
fine.
Good enough. They were never going to lose that game, and now they put themselves in a position to control their own destiny, which is mind-blowing, right? I know I said I thought they'd make the playoffs after 2 weeks. The Rams, you ready? The Rams are going to make the playoffs. I did not think that they would have it in their own hands with 3 weeks to go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where they are. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. Don't forget, you want to listen during the 12 days of 710. Of course, our new morning show host, Michelle Smallman. She will tell you when to call, and when she does, you're going to want to be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. You will get to choose a holiday box in the 710 studio to win fabulous prizes. It can be the Trav box, the Slee box, Mace, Ireland, Sedano, and Cappy box. The season of winning on 710. The Rams, lucky number 7 yesterday. It's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Bowl season, basketball, hockey, pro football, all of it in action right now, and Vivid Seats has it all for you and your ticket gift-giving needs this holiday season. See every one-timer, every touchdown, and every slam dunk live and in person with great deals on great seats. Plus, with Vivid Seats Rewards, you earn rewards with every purchase. They are here for us fans, offering unbeatable rewards like surprise seat upgrades, free tickets, annual birthday discounts, and more. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram.
same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day? I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
We got an Ask Slee coming up about a half an hour from right now, so you can send those to me at Travis Rogers. You can send them to Emily at Emily Hebel. You can send them to Jorge at JabCamLA. That is about 30 minutes from right now. We've got our Factor Cap coming up in a little bit. We've got a little movies. Did you see a particular movie that sparked your Factor Cap ideas, Em, or is this just something that
No,
popped in
it's
your
actually
head?
the birthday of one of America's greatest directors, Steven Spielberg. And so
Okay.
there's going to be a Spielberg Factor Cap.
All right. He's only made 85 movies, and probably 83 of them.
And one of the best collaborations of all time is the John Williams, Steven Spielberg, because, you can't really separate the two. When you think of John Williams, almost always you think of Spielberg.
He's probably scored 90% of his movies, something crazy like that.
And John Williams, too. It's just like the score of my childhood. It's like every beautiful, wonderful thing in my childhood was scored by him.
Spielberg is still trying to prove himself.
He's coming
He
into
might,
his own.
yeah. He might make it in this industry.
Can you imagine being that good at anything? You just have this unbelievable ability to envision something and then go create it exactly the way you want it to, and have everybody that watch it goes, "That's awesome."
And they're iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic.
And just a little movie thing. In the past 365 days, all of our greatest living directors have made movies. So I would say this is just take this time in right now. Scorsese will not be making movies for much longer. Probably Spielberg will not make movies much longer. Michael Mann. Other people that you might love, go see them now because you don't have that much time with them.
Who directed Top Gun Maverick?
I cannot remember.
I think it was Scorsese.
It could have been. It was a collaboration between him and Spielberg.
I think you're right. Rams with a huge win yesterday at SoFi, and we're all over it today on 710 ESPN. It is a Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Spend all day with LA's mega sports station as we get you pumped for the Lakers and the Knicks tonight on 710 ESPN. And Sliwa, of course, will have your pregame show for that. Knicks you were telling me this morning, Knicks are good, not great?
14 and 11. They can beat anybody. They could lose to anybody. So a little bit over 500.
The Lakers can lose to everybody because I saw them lose to a
in-season
game that
tournament's
lost
done.
19 games in a row or 18 or whatever the number was. That's one of those.
But someone's got to break the streak, you know?
Yeah, but maybe not the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. I know they weren't going to finish the season on a 77-game losing streak or whatever.
They were on a mission. We thought
Pistons might, by the way.
AK and I were looking at both the Pistons and the Spurs. We're like, when do they play each other? They play each other in January.
Okay.
So we thought we're going to get that far, and then that very night, Lakers lose to the Spurs, and we deserve whatever the hell we were saying.
Are the Pistons still on their skid?
Yeah, I think they're 21, 22.
One of the memes that came out yesterday was, the God shaking hands from the Michelangelo, but it was the Pistons and the Panthers with 2 wins in December. Yeah.
Did you see where the Panthers were selling tickets for 42? Was it 42 cents?
Yeah, I thought that's on
48
Mason
cents?
and Island when I was filling in for Greg on Friday. But it's like we checked it during the show, and it was like it got up to $10. Ooh, but yeah, you should just let people in for free.
They had a picture. I think it was a CBS on their Instagram account.
Yeah.
That was of Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte.
Okay.
Where the game was played. And again, the weather was bad. It was raining really heavily.
Outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Carolina's awful. Atlanta's pretty darn awful as well.
Yeah, there's no selling point.
There couldn't, and again, this is an NFL stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 60, 70,000 seats there. There couldn't have been 2,500 people there.
And it's also not ancient history that the Panthers were good.
Right.
But they had Cam Newton, and they had their great runs and everything.
And Chris McCaffrey not that long ago.
Exactly. I think as late as 2018, they were in the playoff hunt, but since then, it's been pretty terrible.
They nearly backdoored the playoffs last year. Remember after they fired Matt Rule and put Steve Wilkes in there, they won 6 of their last 8 games or something. Yeah, it was spooky how few people were there.
There's a picture on USA Today.
Yeah, I mean, but the whole stadium looks like that. The whole place was empty.
There's 11 people there.
Rams had 75,000 people in the building last night. And for the first time in a long time, the opposing fans, there were Commander fans there, but not really a whole bunch of them.
Okay.
Rams are on a little bit of a roll. Mm-hmm. They got lucky number 7 yesterday. They are 7-7, and they moved into the 7th seed right there. And it really is remarkable to me.
Okay.
that with 3 weeks to go in the season, they're in control of their own destiny. They don't need somebody to stub their toe. They don't need a weird thing to happen. They just need to win the games that are in front of them the rest of the way, and you could probably even afford to drop that last one against the Niners. And this team that had zero expectations coming in is not near they're not in the hunt anymore. They're in the playoff picture as of today.
If I asked you, I said, hey, what does this have more to do with? Does this have more to do with that the NFC, after the first 3 or 4 teams, it's wide open, or does it have to do with the Rams are good? I don't think the Rams are, maybe good is too strong. If I want to save good, I'm going to save that for Cowboys. I'm going to save that for, not great, but they're good.
Yeah.
They're good enough. And the fact that literally everything that you can ask for has gone their way in these last couple of weeks of other teams losing, maybe a little bit of luck from injuries of a team that you're about to face.
How about T. Higgins? Was it Boyd with the spinning touchdown at the end?
Unbelievable.
Higgins.
Unbelievable catch.
Sleep, was that not one of the most
Unbelievable
incredible,
catch.
just to the wherewithal to know where you are, your body control, that might get the Rams in the playoffs, that play.
It looks like he's going towards the side, and looks like he's just, I'm going to get my feet in, and then has the pylons right here. What if I spin and use my... Anyways, it's just an incredible play. But you look at what's happened to the Seahawks these last couple of weeks. Not a complete shocker. They're playing good opponents. You look at the Minnesota Vikings. We're talking about that Bengals game, right? The Green Bay Packers have lost 2 in a row. Everything that could go your way, and then they're holding their own. That's, I think, the most important thing here is the Rams have put themselves in a position where, kind of crazy to say, 3 weeks left, and they got a chance to, they're holding their own cards.
Let me ask you guys this. In the NFC, obviously the Niners are the best, and then there's Philadelphia, Dallas, and Detroit are that next group of the 3 best teams. Are the Rams the next best team after that?
I honestly think they could even be in that same group with those guys, but yes.
You think so?
I think if they were in a 1-1 match with the Lions or the Cowboys again, I know they blew them out last time, but I would not be surprised if the Rams beat them.
Let's put it this way.
I think they're in the good category. I'm surprised that you don't put the Rams in the good category.
So this is just because 7-7. Now they've been playing much better football.
If they're playing right now, the football they're playing right now is very good football.
So this is what I would say if to go with which category they'd be in. If you're the Eagles, I'm not even going to put the Lions in that because we already know if the Lions have the Rams in the first game.
Which, by the way, is not only possible, we're getting closer to likely.
You know they're sitting there like, are you kidding me? But let's use Philly and Dallas as an example because Philly's already beat the Rams. Dallas has already beat the Rams. Dallas beat them, and it wasn't even close.
Killed them.
Philly was a lot closer. It was here. It was early in the season. But even both of those teams, if the playoffs started tomorrow and the Philadelphia Eagles got the Los Angeles Rams in the first playoff game and it's in Philadelphia, you know in the back of their mind, they're still going to feel good. Hey, we come out with a win. You know in the back of mind, they're saying, okay, so we got a Super Bowl winner in Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Sean McVay. These guys have done it before. You know
playing their best ball right now.
Playing their best ball. You know they're sitting back there. It's like, we couldn't have got any of these other teams. We couldn't have got any of those other teams.
The Saints, the Packers.
We had to line up against the Rams. So maybe with that does kind of up their category because I'm selling myself on there. I don't think is a team out there other than the San Francisco 49ers. And even the 49ers, I'm sure that, just because it's a rivalry game. But
what if the Rams are getting hot at the right moment? I was talking to Warren about this. And what if they go to the Niners and be like, hey, you know what? You handed it to us. You've been handing it to us. And then they go and beat the Niners.
The only thing with the Niners is there's just such a talent. The Niners have to play their worst game of the year.
A lot better than everyone else in the league. Mm-hmm. They really are. They've got skill position players off the charts. Their defense is deep. They're well coached. All of these things. We'll go back to the Rams here for a sec, because what you just said, Jorge, I think is spot on. Here's what you don't want to have to deal with in the playoffs. If you're Philadelphia, if you're Dallas, if you're Detroit. Does the team that's coming in, do they have a really good quarterback? Oh, hell yes. Matthew Stafford is playing terrific football right now. Do they have a coach that knows what he's doing? Yep, they sure do. They got a guy that's been to the Super Bowl twice and won one very recently. Been in the playoffs a whole bunch of times. He's not going to be scared. Do they have, all of a sudden, a guy that's just a little bit better than anybody thought he was going to be? They got 2 They got Kyren Williams and Puka Nacua. Do you have a playmaker? Yeah, we got Cooper Kupp, who's looking a lot like that. And then lastly, are they hot? Are things kind of breaking their way? Yep. All of those things. Like it felt like if they took care of business yesterday and they beat New Orleans and they beat the Giants, by the time we got to the end, it would have all It shook out in 2 weeks. It shook out about.
And that's with a loss to Baltimore.
That's what I'm saying. A loss to Baltimore, and it shook out that much more quickly. This is a team with a good quarterback, a good coach, playmakers, good young players, and they're hot. That's the team you don't want to play.
What's the worst part of the Rams team as a whole right now?
Special teams. By a mile.
And that's going to be something that if you're way better than a team, your special teams should not sink you. Okay, you're gonna score points either way. But if it's a close game, like it will be, it's going to maybe come to bite them.
The crazy part about that is it's not that, hey, we can't kick 50-yard field goals. They can't kick 40-yard field goals. That's a game changer. You have to be anything under 45 yards has to be a layup. It has to be good,
especially in the playoffs.
Especially in the playoffs, and especially where the points become much more difficult to get. Right, playoff games aren't typically played in the 30s; they're played somewhere in the 20s more often than not. And you've got a guy that you just don't know what the heck he's going to do. That kick he missed, it was a 43-yard kick.
Yeah.
It wasn't close.
Yeah, you'd have
that
to
was
literally
like a Brett
move
Maher
the field goal post.
You like spin the stadium and hope that it goes through on the way. It was pretty ugly.
This is the one thing with the special teams is if they end up losing a playoff game because of special teams, it will not be a surprise.
No.
It will.
Emily will be jumping up and down because she's been on the Matt Gay train since the season started.
Yeah, it's true. And if they win a playoff game,
Matt Gay missed a field goal this weekend though.
If they win a playoff game and their special teams came through, that's the only kind of surprise when it comes to that side of it.
But to your point about Gay missing one, you're going to miss one. But when Matt Gay goes out there, you expect him to make it.
Yep.
He might with Lucas Havrisik. It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I hope he makes it, but I'm not expecting him to make it, and that's a weird spot.
But also, like as we saw last night, the Cowboys playing on the road, who knows with them, and the Eagles are on the downward trajectory. I know that they can bounce back, but they don't. Jalen Hurts is going to be sick. The NFC is open for the Rams if they're hot.
And open in Detroit in particular, which we'll talk about next, because if you think that I was freaking out about Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff before, you have no idea. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Head on into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Because for over 30 years, Valvoline's has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people just like you and me. You don't have to wait around all day. You're in, you're out in about 15 minutes, and you are ready to go, and you got the confidence knowing that your car is at its absolute best. So before you head out for the holidays and you load everybody up into the car to go see grandma or grandpa, your brother, your sister, your mom, or your dad, head on into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change and let the expert technicians make sure that your ride is at its best. Over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
ESPN.
So the Rams have, after every win, the social team will usually go grab some of the key players of the game, give them a phone and say, hey, what do you want to say to the fans? And they kind of do like a, yeah, let's go, baby, like something like that. So yesterday, and this is why I love both of them, because they're just the opposites of each other, and why especially I love Puka and Cooper. So Puka and Cooper Kupp were given the phone to kind of give their little speech, like, yeah, let's go, after the game. So the first person you're going to hear is Puka. The second person you're going to hear is Cooper. So I'm going to play both of their post-game things right now.
Yeah! What's up? Yeah! We get the dub in SoFi. Home games, we love them. Appreciate you. See you on Thursday.
Quick turnaround. Enjoy this for about 2 seconds. Get back to work. Let's go, baby.
Like Puka's like a golden retriever, and then Cooper's like a cat.
Golden retriever.
That's exactly right. Look,
I like the brand he's created for himself.
It's which one?
Puka.
Oh no, Puka's great.
Yeah.
And you know why I like both of those guys? Neither one of those feels like, all right, I'll give you something that's not like that feels like Puka.
Authentic.
When we were at training camp and we got a chance to interview Puka, he had this big smile on his face the entire time.
He's
he was
goofy,
super
he's
happy
funny.
to be there. He's goofy, he's funny, he's having a good time.
Yeah,
he
I'm
just
with you.
loves football and they're winning. He's fired up. And Cooper Kupp, never forget when we were out doing the Super Bowl parade out at the Coliseum.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp looked angry during the Super Bowl parade. Like
he's all
like,
business.
He's like, I need to get back and work on my routes. I need to get back into the weight room. Like he's all business all the time, and that's exactly what that was. Terrific.
There and it's kind of from where the season started, where Puka was getting obviously all the love.
Sure.
Cooper Kupp eventually comes back, and it's like, is Kupp is he not the same player that he used to be? And now I think they're at a point where it feels like the ball's being spread. You don't have an idea where the ball's going to go. It's an effective offense. So let's put it that way.
And I think that it just shows too. I mean, we've seen over the past couple of weeks, Puka Nacua, maybe he won't be the star of every single game, but I feel like is an emotional vibe of the team. He might not be the leader of the team, but he keeps everybody from probably getting too down on themselves. He keeps everybody light. You need someone like that in every place you're with.
I don't mean this as an insult or a slight to anybody else, but he's the one guy on the Rams offensively that plays with a great deal of emotion, right?
Yeah.
Like Matthew Stafford is very calm and cool. You got
Especially
Cooper
with
Kupp,
that trick play.
Right. You you should have seen this. This is great, Slee. So the little end around they ran with Demarcus Robinson yesterday where they faked it to Williams going up the middle. Then Tess Stafford turns his back to the line of scrimmage and just kind of flips it to Robinson running by. And he was very cool, very nonchalant. It was great. Emily's
sold
like,
it.
"Oh my God, that's amazing!"
It was so cool.
She was so excited. And
he
then
sold it.
Last night around 8:00, she texts me with a tweet of the video cap. She's like, "I've watched this 25 more times. This is amazing."
It's the cool. It's like almost like his no look in the Super Bowl. You know, I think
it was pretty cool.
Let me just go on off about Matthew Stafford.
It's a very nonchalant, like
yeah. I want to go off about Matthew Stafford for a second. He is playing out of his mind, fantastically. And I think that we forget him in like the greatest quarterbacks of the century, whatever. I don't think that we're putting him in that. But he has this calmness, this coolness. He does not get rattled as easily, and he will win you games. And so that play,
Matthew Stafford.
that play, I was just like, it's just so cool. He knew how to play that off. It was a great design play by Sean McVay. Maybe it doesn't work every single time, but I love seeing Matthew play so well.
He's calm. He's chill. He's going to make the right decision. Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. Even Tyler Higbee, a little emotional occasionally, but he usually get back up. He might point first down and run back. They don't play with a lot of demonstrative emotion, the Rams. They play well, but Puka's the one guy that's pumping his fist and flexing and all that stuff. You need a little bit of that. It's football. It's an emotional game, and he's brought a great deal of that to them. And now they've got themselves in a position where here's what happens on Thursday night. Thursday night is basically their season again. Their season was yesterday. Now they get a chance to do it again. Right now they're about a 50-50 shot. It's like 52 or 3%, something like that. If they win, it jumps up to 76% that they go to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If they lose, it drops to 14. It's a 62% swing one way or the other. So that is absolutely everything. If they do win, the Lions play the Vikings on Sunday. If the Lions beat the Vikings, the Rams move up into the 6. The Lions are in the 3. And you're going to get Matthew Stafford, potentially, going back to Detroit to play a playoff game as a Super Bowl champion against Jared Goff, who the Rams said, look, we love you.
You're just not good enough.
But we also need you to get the hell out of here. We need you to leave. In fact, take these 2 draft picks with you just so the other guy will take you. It would be by far the best first-round matchup that you could get because of the history between
Tremendous storyline. I mean, I know they got to get there. It's funny. I was listening to McVay post-game, and somebody says, have you dare thought about the P word, right? Playoffs.
What did he say?
And McVay is like, not at all. We got a game coming up in 4 days, and that you just right now all we got in our mind is New Orleans, which it's not. He's not going to say much more than that.
Sure.
At least that's typical Sean McVay. But we're already starting the storyline here. LA Times already has an article out right now saying, this could be the Lions. The NFL is sitting back and saying, guys, should we start working on some promos here? Can we start working on promos? But there's 2 ways to look at it. I'm sure there's a part of this where if you're the Lions, you're saying, we got to go up against the Rams in the first round. The only other way to look at it, and I know their coach is he's a little bit out there, but he's going to use this as added motivation. How fantastic would it be, too, for Goff to say, let me get a shot at these guys. Now, if you lose that game, it completely goes the other way, but it's also a redemption. I get a chance to go up against my former team.
Whatever happens, it's amazing. Let's say the Rams go in and win. It's just
Stafford doing it there too.
I was going to say
finally winning a game there.
Yeah, and it doesn't validate Matthews because Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl.
Already been validated.
There's no, but it's one of those. Yeah, look, we're still winning this trade, right? If the other thing happens, if the Lions were able to win that game, the Lions can say, "Hey, thanks for everything you did. You got your Super Bowl. This is great, but we've moved on to the next thing.
Yeah,
and we've got our guy." And Sean McVay and Jared Goff both make nice. They both say the nice things about each other. But look, they dumped him. And it very clearly was the Rams and Sean McVay saying, no more. We can't do this anymore. Jared Goff is going to carry that around with him forever because you were told you're not good enough here anymore.
And the other team cashed it in.
Yeah, and immediately in year one. And if he loses that, it's like they were right. And I know that these guys are wired differently than you and me. They're professional athletes, but they're like, they dumped me, and then they just came in and beat me. And the Lions have been all year long. Lions are really good. The Rams have been like, hey, do the Rams stink? Are they going to get into it? And hey, are they pretty good too? Oh, man, they're firing on every last cylinder.
We're jumping weeks ahead, but how can you not? Because that could potentially be that matchup. Now, they, like you just said, that their chances of making the playoffs right now, it's still about 50-50. Now, they win on Thursday. How much that's going to change as well. All right, join us tonight for Lakers Live as we get ready for Lakers and the Knicks. The 710 Fun and Games Department will be at Chick Hearn Court starting at 4 p.m., and you can enter to win a D-Lo autographed basketball. So there'll be the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden. You can meet the Laker girls and Laker legends, a Pop-A-Shot, half-court shot. Join us tonight for Lakers Live at LA Live.
So if the Rams, for some reason, again, I'm going to take preseason expectations out of this, okay? If the Rams don't make the playoffs, will this be a big disappointment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you have everything in your hands.
With the very specific question that you asked,
yeah.
I don't think there's any other answer, right? If you would have said at the beginning of the season, knowing what we know, you get to week 15 and you're 7-7 and you got a shot, but you miss, is that a good season? Yeah. But that's not what this is. They're as hot as just about anybody. Their quarterback's playing great. They found a running back that's a huge difference maker. You got arguably 3 wide receivers playing at a high level. Your defense isn't great, but it's certainly good enough. And you control your own destiny. You're playing a mediocre New Orleans team.
Yeah.
You're playing a bad Giants team. Mm-hmm. And if you win those 2 games, you're almost certainly in. Yeah, it would be a huge disappointment if they don't do it.
It would be a huge disappointment, but I still think it's the way you just described it, you're 7-7 up to this point. I think no matter what happens moving forward, it's a successful season, period. I don't think you could say that the Rams, if they end up winning 8 games this year and went 8-9, would it be disappointing because you got to this stretch and you had a chance to punch your ticket, but you lost at New York or you lost to the Saints on Thursday?
34-yard field goal.
Something like that, right? Like
Not that I've already envisioned what might happen.
It could very well happen.
I've thought this through.
Whatever scenario played out, I don't think you can I don't think anybody can walk away right now with the Rams this point on saying that it wasn't a successful season, but you can also be very disappointed that with 3 games left to go, they had 2 winnable games. They lost one of them.
So by the time you get to March 1st, even if they miss, it's a successful season. The sting of how it ended, I think, will have faded. But right now, this isn't hey, we got to win our games and hope that Green Bay loses. We got to win our games and hope that Minnesota
already happened.
But they're in.
Those,
they're in the 7th spot. They can move up to the 6th spot. They're not only in, but they're upwardly mobile at this point. They're very, very dangerous. And because again, the Saints are not a bad team, but they're not a good team. Nobody's afraid of playing the Saints. The Giants with Tommy DeVito. Okay, I know it's going to be cold. It's New Year's Eve and
but
all.
The Cinderella shoes started not to fit yesterday.
For sure. These are winnable games. Like knowing that, if you had to beat Baltimore, Dallas, and San Francisco, and it's like, all right, this is an uphill climb. This is pretty much of a downhill slide into it. It would be a disappointment. I don't think that even with the passing of time would be, because if they get in, who knows, right? This isn't. Who's the last team? The AFC's got them kind of. This does not feel like, oh, you're going to be in, you're going to get pounded in the opening round, and then whatever. You probably shouldn't have been in the first place.
Yeah.
You actually have a chance to win. If you get into the playoffs and have a chance and actually miss it altogether, that's a huge miss.
Yeah, this is the point of the season, too, where it's like you really haven't had expectations.
It's the first time.
Now for the first time, it's...
You're right.
Okay, hey, now you're supposed to win. Now it's no more... Well, we need help here. We need help there. Oh, this quarterback is injured. We could take advantage of it. Kind of got everything you need.
Speaking of a huge miss, you just missed your guy.
Your
guy, the vending machine guy.
Yeah,
I got him in. Okay, Travis. So you're slipping a little bit.
This is a disaster.
We were all trying to
is falling apart.
I was like trying to get your attention this way, making sure you didn't look out that way. It's over, bro. You had your shot. Whatever behind the scenes type of agreement that you guys had, it's over.
We'll see. We may
free Slim Jim that you were getting is gone.
Those are pretty good, by the way.
Very good.
You can't mess with a Slim Jim. Ask Slee coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. You are all over the NBA prize picks.
Yeah.
I am all over the NFL prize picks, and it's because it's awesome. It's easy to play. Put the prize picks app on your phone. Go to prizepicks.com/710 and look at the projections. You pick between 2 and 6 players. For instance, Jalen Hurts tonight, Monday Night Football. So you're going to throw for more or less than 241.5 yards. You can look at Jalen Hurts. You can look at some receiving guys along the way. A.J. Brown, Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, more than 59.5 yards. That's it. Pick between 2 and 6 players, and you can win up to 10 times your money at Prize Picks.
Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Like Trav mentioned, it's fun. It really kind of takes games. I'm already looking at NBA games right now. More than or less than. LeBron James, 27.5 points against the New York Knicks. I'm going to say Bron goes more than. He's going to try to put on a show. Lakers hanging an in-season tournament banner. They're taking on the Knicks. How about Julius Randle, former Laker? 23 points, more than or less than. I'll go less than on that one. It takes about 60 seconds to submit your picks. Take advantage of our offer here at 710. Go to prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/710. And use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
All right, of course, you can do your Ask Slee on the phone as well. 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776. All right, Slee, John in Huntington Beach goes first. It says, when you offer free tickets or a green fee to somebody and they decline, how many declines in a row do you allow before they're off the list? So you have a freebie for somebody. Hey, you want to come join me at dinner, golf, a movie, whatever it is, before they keep saying no before, like, all right, I'm not asking that person anymore.
I think 2 is the right offer. I think 2 is right. So, listen, sometimes it's just going to be a scheduling thing. Sometimes it could be they just can't make it. But if I'm coming back to you for a second time, I'm expecting, and I got to do a better job making sure I communicate all that stuff. But if I get denied twice, I'm moving on. Like, I'm going to go to somebody else. I'm going to go to somebody else.
Well, 2 is the number, by the way. That is the correct answer, Slee.
Sorry, Em.
There are, look, I think that you're on the right track. I think that you're like 99%.
I think it's got to be 2.
It is. But what if I said, ask me to join you for something?
Trav, I got free tickets
Lakers
to
tonight.
Lakers and the Knicks tonight. Can you make it?
That sounds great. I would love to do it. Slee, it's my dad's birthday, and we've had this thing on the books forever. I can't make it.
No problem.
Ask me the next time.
Next time, then I'm going to say, hey, Trav, in 2 weeks, I got Lakers tickets to whoever they're playing. I'm going to give you more, because that's on me if I'm doing it on the same night.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you more of a leeway. If that one is 2 weeks, you know what, this just falls on something else. Now I'm kind of starting to get a feeling you just don't want to go.
It depends on what the excuse is. It's like, oh, man, I really can't, but thank you. That's, I just didn't want to. But
what if you're like, I'm trying to save my voice in 2 weeks?
If there's a specific, I mean, I really want to, but I have this other thing, I'm going to give you a third bite at the apple. But the two is the right number. How many times are you going to offer?
I think 2 is fine.
Yeah.
I think that then also, like, you can also kind of, if you're me, do a little more sleuthing on Instagram or like whatever. And if they're doing something not what they were told me they were doing.
Would you follow up on that?
I don't do it purposefully, but I might just, if I happen to be on Instagram and I look at their story and they're not at their dad's birthday party or whatever, I'm like,
well, that's pretty shady.
I put that in the ledger. The ledger is being put in.
Yeah, if somebody does that
interesting.
And are completely lying to you, they're never going to.
My dad liked a birthday party at the golf course or whatever, the movies with your kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you got?
So this one is from Darren Pollock, and he says, do you think that the Rudolph legend would be more believable if it was from the other reindeer's perspective, as in you have patronizing condescension from the misfit turned into bitter resentment. So if you told the Rudolph story from the perspective of the other reindeer,
of Blitzen and Dancer,
would you like that story?
Pedro and Pancho,
Pedro.
That's an interesting one. Would I
where they were proven wrong, they got their mind changed.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if I. All right, give me more of the like backstories here, because I don't think I know the full story.
Well, so Rudolph was
made fun of for reindeer games.
He had an abnormality that the other reindeer were dismissive of.
Yep.
Until they wouldn't let him participate because he had the weird nose.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's foggy.
Yep.
So we need the guy, and they're like they're opportunists.
Yeah.
Where and Rudolph kind of lets him slide, quite frankly.
Yeah. Rudolph was too nice.
If
I think
it was
Rudolph
told
too
from
nice.
Blitzen and Dancer and Donner in the Pedro and Pancho and Jorge's version, they'd be like, you know what? We've made a huge mistake. We mistreated this poor guy.
Yeah.
And then he, despite us being bad guys, he still helped us out in our time of need.
I don't believe any of them. Rudolph's the only one that I trust at
There's
this point.
a meme out there. It's like Santa, and it's like Santa that will stand for bullying unless that person is useful.
That's about right. What do you got, Jorge?
This one from Capitano Matt. He says, are lottery scratchers acceptable last-minute Christmas gifts?
You know where I think the Secret Santa, when you do stuff like that, when it's something in the office where that's where I think those are most appropriate. I don't think you should be giving your family member. I shouldn't, be with Lady Slee on Christmas and saying, hey, I got you some scratchers.
$100 of scratchers.
Yep.
There you go.
Here's
You're like, I don't know, maybe this turns into $2,000.
Yeah. And everything I got was from the liquor store. And then here's a pack of black or the Swisher Sweets and
Low lights.
Okay,
we shouldn't be doing that.
You've kind of inspired me. I want to now do all of my holiday shopping at a 7-Eleven. Like that. That's all I want to do. Swisher Sweets and canned beer and lotto tickets.
There was
the Black and Miles. Those are like the purple. I'm like, I went and ordered everything from the shelf of.
There's a family on TikTok where every year it's a big group of cousins. It's probably like 20 people in this gift exchange. But the gift exchange is only things that you found at a gas station. So they do trade off, and it could be like a Buc-ee's where you can get anything.
Yeah.
But then you can go to some other random gas stations and it's just a Slinky.
I love that. I'm buying you lottery tickets.
Used DVDs.
$5 worth of scratch. Used sunglasses.
Is it
$4 sunglasses?
iTunes gift card.
When you do something at work, I think getting the lotto tickets, it's great. The scratchers is perfect. Like that's kind of actually a cool little thing. It's better than giving it to a family member. Don't give it to a family member.
If it's one of those, I got to get something. I totally spaced. If you got 25,
get a gift card to I don't know, to Walmart.
Red Lobster.
Yeah, some other Olive Garden.
I did it for my brothers. My friend's brother was turning 21, so I got him a bottle, and then I got him 21 scratchers, $21 worth of scratchers. I'm like, yeah, there you go, do 21 scratchers and a bottle. Go ahead, man.
That's a good way to do it. So, all right, here's another one. Animal fries, well done. How early is too early for an Irish goodbye at a holiday gathering with family? So this is your family, and you've decided you've had enough. What's too early?
So you definitely got to stay for whenever food is being served.
Okay.
So if that's lunch or it's dinner, you can't go prior to that.
Okay.
Can you wait a good half hour after dinner was served? Like, can you get to the stage where people are a little bit full now that, everybody ate, and then you kind of wait another half hour after that? And then if you want to take off, I think you take off. If you leave... I've been in this situation before, so have you. It's like I just literally finished my food and I'm gone. Like that's now a little disrespectful. Like now you're almost better off leaving before food was served because food wasn't the trigger of you leaving.
Right.
So just wait. Can you give a half hour after you've already eaten, food is done, people put their food away, plates away, and then take off after that?
I think it depends on how many people are there, right? If you have a big family and there's 15 or 20 people there, you can kind of dip out whenever you want.
But if there's 5 people there,
it's almost ruder to say goodbye. Like the food's done. Hey, good night, everybody. That's a bad move. But if you just turn around like, hey, where did Emily go? And I don't know. When did she leave? It's like, okay, I guess she dipped. But if it's 5 people, you can't. You gotta find that sweet spot where nobody really knows you're gone and they're not quite sure how long you've been gone.
After coffee for me.
Yeah. And a nap.
Yeah, after coffee.
You got coffee and dessert. You stayed the whole way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got one more quick one for you, Al, and I know you're a big Yelp guy.
Okay.
So, have you ever left a 1-star review online? This is from Jacob Brightwood.
No, I don't know if I've ever even left a review on Yelp, and I use Yelp as.
Oh, so you only use it as a viewer. You don't use it as a participator.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, gotcha.
Usually, people. By the way, some of the things that people complain about too on Yelp, it's like if you read some of the comments. The people who go out of their way and have 4 paragraphs.
Like maybe you're the problem.
No, that have 4 paragraphs. I'm like, bro, just tell me, was the food good or was it not? Was the service solid? Was it not?
What about on Amazon? If you haven't gotten the right package or if something was broken, have you ever gotten a 1-star review for something other than Yelp?
I'm not. I would rather literally just call, because I've called a restaurant before and told them if I had a bad experience, and I try to do it more in like a, I think this will help you to know this information.
Yeah.
I don't know if just demolishing them on Yelp is the best way of using my time or using my advice.
Do you leave reviews, Em?
I think I've only left like 1 or 2 maybe reviews for Yelp, but I was just looking at my Letterboxd to see if I've left any like 1-star reviews
for movies.
I left one for The Last Airbender, which is a terrible remake of that anime series by M. Night Shyamalan. So that was a pretty terrible one. But my lowest usually is like a 2.
Jorge, do you leave bad reviews?
Never. I don't take the time. I don't even log in. No, I don't.
I just never go back. Right? It's like, okay, that didn't work out. I've only left 1 review in my whole life on Yelp, and it was because it was a BOGO. Like, went into
you told me that, yeah.
My local wellness center, shall we say. And they're like, hey, if you leave a review on Yelp, you get a buy one, get one. I'm like, just hold it right there. Let me knock this out real quick.
That's all the info you needed.
I did a bad review for a car mechanic shop that really messed up my car. And I was like,
that's good.
And it's this XYZ reason why, because I asked multiple times, whatever, and they messed up my car even more.
Did they take more than 10 minutes to replace your tire? Like, I can do it faster than that.
No, it had to do with the engine.
All right, the Lakers, it's banner night, Slee. They're hanging the banner.
Let's go.
Tonight. Really. That's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Slee, I need you to be honest with me about something here real quick. Do you think that I am a trusting person? Like if somebody, like, do I take people at their word typically?
Yes.
Okay. And would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad because I don't think of myself so much like that. I unfortunately, I'm cynical and a little suspicious, maybe a little bit more than I would like to be. But I'm looking at the Twitter feed right now.
Okay.
And Emily, what you said a minute ago about people double checking if like somebody says, hey, you want to play golf with me this Saturday? I got a free tee time. And they're like, no, man, I can't. It's my wife's sister's birthday or whatever it is. Other people are checking up on that. Like it would never occur to me. I would believe you if you told me that the washing machine guy was coming to your house, joking aside,
Right.
I would genuinely believe you. I would not be trolling your social media looking for your washing machine update.
So you don't have to double check, but what if you just happen to be on Instagram for a quick second?
Honestly?
And Emily is just completely flat out whatever she told you.
She's at the beach.
She's somewhere else.
Chilling or something, I don't post like that, but I post something like that,
I would honestly
you'd almost have to run into it.
Did something else came up? I'd be like, oh, I guess the guy pulled the plug again. He's not good. I would never think that. Maybe I'm just an egomaniac and I assume everybody always wants to hang out with me. I don't know. It just would never occur to me that somebody's just like, no, I don't want to hang out with that guy.
I've even considered from the other people are checking on me. So if I did do fake plans, say, oh, I had this coming up, I just don't post on social media about anything. Or there's also a close friends version of Instagram, so you can post to only a circle of people, and you can block other people from seeing your things. I have certain people blocked on my Instagram stories that cannot see my Instagram stories, so there's that too.
How many people do you have blocked, Slee?
Right now, so I capped it at 60.
That would be the best thing ever if you just had hundreds of people that you've blocked from your Instagram. That would be terrific.
I would have to do it with no reason at all. Like somebody says, Lakers had a bad game. Blocked. Just the dumbest reasons
that
ever.
That would be the tipping point for you. That's perfect.
That ass Slee, I don't like it. Blocked.
Blocked. What's going on in our hallway right out here?
Smells like crap.
Smells like
it literally smells like spoiled rotten food or like something died in the wall or something. What is
and
what
it
is
wasn't
going
like that
on?
yesterday because I was here
right, you were here
yesterday
last night.
and did not have this reeking stench of death.
As somebody that has been in this office for a long time, they do this thing every once in a while. There's grease traps that
But it's usually out in the hallway over here, not inside our studio.
So they usually do something where it leaves off for the restaurant. It leaves off this really funky
kind
smell.
of sulfury.
Just awful.
Very
We used to have it sometimes on the sales side where, I remember telling her, I'm like, I can't work like this. Like I can't smell this.
It smells
and
like
just,
a dead body.
And just pick up the phone and go for a quick little cold call. Like that ain't happening. So there'd be times where it's like, all right, everybody get the hell out of the office. It's not in the studio, but it's definitely out in the hallway.
You ever walk by a dumpster in the summer when it's been hot and it's like the day before and it's just that rotten, sour decay smell?
It's just New York City in the summer.
New York City in the summer, for instance. We've got a little
that going on in the hallway.
In the bullpen. Somebody, can't somebody get some Fabulosa or something?
Here's what's crazy.
Not on a carpet.
You know what's crazy is that
feel bad for you guys. I can't smell anything.
When it's gone, it's gone. It probably in a half hour we smell literally nothing. But when they do whatever they're doing, it's brutal.
Did you lose your sense of smell, or you never had it?
I lost it.
What happened?
I guess I got hit with a soccer ball by Regino Silva. I remember this. This guy kicked it so hard, it hit me in the back of the head. I didn't see it coming, obviously. And
Damn.
I wake up and I just see a bunch of people around me, and then I think that's the only hard hit I took to the head, and ever since then, I can't.
Can you taste food?
I can taste it. I mean, my sense of smell comes and goes here.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I walk in, brisket. Oh, I smell the brisket. But then it'll last like a good 5-10 minutes, and then it's gone.
Well, consider yourself lucky today.
Yeah, today's a good day for that.
Most of the times that does not sound like something you'd want, but whatever that horrible thing is, you don't want that. Rams with a huge win yesterday at SoFi. Of course, we're all over it today on 710 ESPN. A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Spend all day with LA's mega sports station as we get you pumped for the Lakers and the Knicks tonight at 7:10. And it's a special night tonight.
Special night.
It's a special. They're hanging the banner.
Mm-hmm. Are we the only two?
They're hanging the banner.
We might be the only two.
I feel weird to me.
I feel like a lot of people.
Puka's excited.
I feel like a lot of people are all kind of, they're good to go. They like the idea. They like that. Actually, here's one that's kind of random. So last week this was a topic because it became official that the Lakers are going to hang a banner.
Right.
Now I need to see it. I want to kind of, what does it look like? How big is it? How different does it look than the others? But no matter how you put it, it is taking up real estate over there. It's like an ADU, okay? An additional dwelling unit. It's not the house. You can't sell it separately.
Right.
But it is taking up real estate up there. So we did videos last week. We had videos, Lakers Talk Daily. I did a video of, listen, I get they're hanging it. I just don't like the idea. Like I don't think something should be hung for a 7-day. You won 7 games. It's a tournament, and you're getting that real estate up there. But I feel like there's a lot of Laker fans that are okay with it. I think a lot of Laker fans, it surprised me how much of Laker Nation, I guess you can call it, is okay with it. Even Lamar Odom was responding to one of on Instagram. It was posted as like a championship. Hang the banner. It's the first one. I'm on a different wavelength when it comes to this.
It's one of the. You ever walked into somebody's house,
it's like really small,
and you see something that is
out of place?
Just like, why is that there? Like, it's not a big deal, but like, why is his JV water polo trophy on the mantle in the centerpiece of the house? It's like, it's cool, but I wouldn't have it there.
Yeah.
And especially if you went on and you were like a gold medalist winning water polo player.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why do you have that there? That's weird. Hang up the gold medal, which they have all over the place. It's a very odd thing for the Lakers to lead into.
Are you worried that it's a slippery slope? That, they're going to start adding stuff here and there?
I'm not worried about that.
Why are you guys so mad about it? It's not that big of a deal. It's just a banner.
I'm not mad about it as I am.
It doesn't belong there.
Exactly.
That's the only reason. Just like literally, it wasn't to have something earned to go there. Should be a very, very, and it has been in the Lakers tradition, they're only hanging things up that are iconic Hall of Famers who've won multiple championships and are the history of the NBA.
Yes.
Or they're hanging up an NBA championship. It just doesn't belong. That's it. That's the only reason.
There's nothing wrong with it other than like the barrier of entry for that particular honor is one of two things. You won the title.
Yep.
The real one. The one that you play 6 months to get and have to
And
go
then
through
have to
4
go
rounds of
through
playoffs to win.
for that.
You got to win 16 games. That one. Or be one of the greatest players in the history
of the game.
Of the most prestigious or one of the most prestigious organizations to have been in this league forever. Those are the two ways you get up there. Or you get hot in December for 2 weeks.
Or you go 7-0.
It just doesn't add
Or you
up.
go 7-0. You take out the Pelicans and the Pacers.
It just.
But if
bam,
they're okay with it,
you're
then
up
why
there.
aren't we okay with it? It's the organization making the thing. I
It's the first one. So
don't know why everyone's freaking out about
it. Doesn't bother me.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that there's more people that are more on the it's not that big of a deal. I thought it would be a little bit more, and I get people, this is the way people are explaining it. If we had Jeannie Buss sitting right here and you ask Jeannie, hey Jeannie, do you want that thing up there, or are you doing this because this is important to the NBA?
Yeah.
That you are the Lakers brand, and if you do it, then it really sends a great message to all the other teams to say, hey, if you win this thing, it legitimizes a little bit. Throw that bad boy up there as well. I get the reason of being a good partner in doing it. I would just willfully decline the offer of being the team that does it and say, I'm sorry, we can't put it up here, and you guys should know the reasons why.
Have you been to Pauley Pavilion yet? You've been in LA for a few years now, but have you been to Pauley Pavilion?
No, I have not been there.
Okay. So you walk into Pauley Pavilion, and the place is just littered with national championship banners.
Okay, cool.
Right? And there's also an NIT banner hanging in the middle. It's like, what the hell is that doing there? Like, it'd be one thing if you won a title and an NIT. Cool. Title, NIT. It's like,
but they're all accomplishments.
But
even
it's
though
not
they're
even
smaller
that. No,
and
you know what it
little
is? It's winning the Maui Invitational. I'm serious. It's winning the tournament.
Yeah.
The Maui Invitational tournament, and you're saying, throw that bad boy up there.
Yeah, if the Maui Invitational tournament was one weekend. I think the Maui Invitational is the whole week.
No, it's a weekend.
I think maybe it's a long weekend. Maybe they start on Thursday.
But yeah, I mean, like UVA basketball has their little trophy case where they put the things like the Maui Invitational, or I think it's like the lawnmower whatever one in Bahamas. Regardless,
I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm curious to see what it looks like. Fine. I'm curious to see I hope it's not something that,
Do we have an idea how big it is? Is it the same size as the title banners?
No,
I doubt it.
I will tell you the way they are doing it is it will say, 2023 in-season tournament champs, whatever. but it's the same banner. If they win it next year as well,
they
it's
add a
going
year
on
to
the
it.
same banner.
I get that, but it
Velcro spots.
like they should just tear it off
20,
and splat a new one on there.
28.
It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it was just the Kings throw it up there. Sure. The
Pacers,
the Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, I get it. You guys don't have a long, distinguished history of these things. There isn't Shaq and Kobe and Abdul-Jabbar and Johnson and all of these names. And then we got hot for a week.
Well, let's see what happens, too, because maybe if the Lakers win it a couple years in a row, they run out of space. And maybe they have to take down one of the maybe the 1980 championships got to go down.
You know that first one in Showtime? They're just going to take
maybe that banner's got to go.
Do you count it as a dynasty if you win the in-season tournament 3 years in a row? I'm just throwing it out there.
That's great.
That's next on First Take.
You count it as a dynasty.
Why not? Why not? Let's just put them everywhere. All right. So the Lakers lost to San Antonio. Obviously, this is their catch your breath moment after the big IST win that they had. Games start getting a lot harder as we get closer to this weekend. Oklahoma City, Minnesota, and Boston on Christmas Day. Are they going to flip that switch back on again? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
All right, y'all. So it is college football bowl season. We have started bowling, guys. Okay, so some of the
nice
of great
of UCLA to get theirs out of the way early, right?
Exactly. Coming up in about 10 minutes, it's going to be the famous Toastery Bowl between guess.
UVA?
No.
Oh.
It's between Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. What NFL quarterback came from ODU, Old Dominion?
It's funny. I don't know. I'll cut you off. The only person I know that went to Old Dominion is Justin Verlander.
Okay.
That's the only guy I know that went
Virginia
there.
guy. It is Taylor Heineke.
Oh,
Taylor
okay.
Heineke is a pride of Old Dominion.
What are they? What's their mascot?
It is something like royal. I think it has a crown or something on it for Old Dominion. But yes, like you said, UCLA played Boise State at SoFi this weekend in the LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. Speaking of whom, I'm going to play him singing the national anthem for a little bit just because it's great.
Killing it.
So he's going for it. He's definitely going for it. UCLA ended up beating Boise State 35-22. I know that Chris Morales was in attendance, but one of the main stories coming out of that was from Chip Kelly. So Chip Kelly was asked after the game, maybe how does he feel about NIL? How does he feel about the changing landscape of college football? And I'm going to play for you his response to that question.
I think they're all a problem, and I think we need to have a conference commissioner. I think football should be separate from the other sports. Just the fact that our school is leaving to go to the Big Ten in football, our softball team should be playing Arizona in softball. Our basketball team should be playing Arizona in basketball. But because football left, and they're saying, well, how do you do that? Well, Notre Dame's independent in football, and they're in a conference and everything else. I think we should all be independent in football. And you can have a 64-team conference that's in the Power 5, and you can have a 64-team conference in the Group of 5. And we separate it, and we play each other. You can have the West Coast teams, and then every year we play 7 games against the West Coast teams, and then we play the East. So we play Syracuse, Boston College, Pitt, West Virginia, Virginia. Then the next year you play against the South while you still play your 7 teams. You can play a 7-game schedule. You can play 4 against another division opponent, and you can always play against one Mountain West team every year so that we can still keep those rivalries going. Not that I've really thought about this. Not that I've a lot of spent time on this. But I think if you went together collectively as a group and said there's 132 teams and we all share the same TV contract, so that the Mountain West doesn't have one and the Sun Belt doesn't have another and SEC has one and they have another, that we all go together, that's a lot of games, and there's a lot of people in the TV world that would go through it. You can sponsor each one. Instead of calling it Group of 5 and Power 5, you can call it Amazon, Nike, bid that out to things. You can do a lot of different things. But I think if we still do the same thing and take all that money, and I would do this, and I think this needs to be done, that money now needs to be shared with the student athletes, and there needs to be revenue sharing. The players should get paid, and you can get rid of NLI, and the schools should be paying the players because the players are what the product is. And the fact that they don't get paid is really the biggest travesty. Not that I've thought about it.
All right, so that and all I talked about there is in my college football corner in the coverage of the bowl season on 710, powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCal Oil Change for locations and to score game-winning coupons. And so he had some points there. So what do you think about Chip Kelly?
First of all, I've never heard Chip Kelly talk so much in my entire life. Chip Kelly doesn't really say much at all. Yeah. Chip Kelly is extremely media averse. He's
one of his knocks.
Yeah, he's not that guy that's up there, with quips and giving you his take on the state of the universe. That's not what he does. I wish he would, because that was awesome. That was terrific. Mm-hmm. I've been saying something similar to this for about 15 years. College football is pro football in every single sense of the word, other than they happen to be associated with these universities. And the top 40, 50, he said 64, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Those teams are different than the other 64 teams. Why we're using the same set of rules for football that we use for golf is insane. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense. Football makes all the money. Football should be its own thing over here and set it up just like he said, just like pro sports. You have your division, which for UCLA would be the western part of the United States.
Okay.
And then you play 3 games against the Midwest one year. Next year, you play 3 games against the South. Mm-hmm. Tell me where this is a bad idea. I know it's never going to happen because of all the money involved, and nobody wants to spread it around when I could keep it for myself.
And also the sheer amount of schools involved.
It would take you forever, but you develop rivalries. Maybe you can schedule them more frequently.
You can have tiers of schools.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant idea.
I think it just continues to solidify whatever the structure is today. It's no guarantee it's going to be the same structure tomorrow.
True.
And I think that, we talked a little bit about this. The Pac-12 is gone, right? It's done. Would you be shocked in 10 years there's some form of the Pac-12? I don't think I would, right? I think that I have no idea how things are going to work out down the road. I do understand, like the 64 team that he's talking about. Okay, that's interesting. Keep this completely separate. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe even have it to where there's always 8 or 10 teams coming in and out of that.
A little relegation format.
Relegation based on how you're doing. But it's impossible that the rules that are set up today are going to be the rules that we see in 5 years or 10 years. I have no idea where college football is going. And I'm completely open to the different ideas and discussions about it, but it's not going to be the way it is.
And you could do contracts. You can say, hey, if we let you come to the school, you're going to have to be for 2 years. Okay? It's kind of like a contract in sports where you say, hey, you can have free agency after 2 years, but you have to be with us for this amount of time. Just so that teams can build teams.
And identities and familiarity. Look, this is what makes it fun, that even pro sports doesn't turn over the way that a lot of these college teams are now. They're turning over more quickly than just about anything else.
Yeah.
I love the idea. To your point, we don't know where it's going. We don't know what it's going to look like, but I think we know where it's going. What it looks like, I don't know. You don't know. I don't think Chip Kelly knows. But it's going to be for more money between fewer teams. That's where we're headed. Because right now the Oregon States and the Washington States and the Wake Forest of the world are kind of getting squeezed out, right? But eventually it's going to be Indiana gets squeezed out.
Sure.
Minnesota gets squeezed out. And it's just going to be SC, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma.
Arizona, they're getting squeezed out as well. Yep.
So we squeezed it from roughly 100 teams down to about 60 teams. We're going to squeeze it from 60 down to 30. Those teams will get more and more. The players will move more and more. But at least it's honestly dishonest. You know what I mean? Like they're doing all the dirt out in front as opposed to doing the dirt.
I'd rather have
in
it in the front.
Room.
I'm with you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's where it's headed. I don't know what the final game plan looks like, but Chip Kelly's obviously given this some thought. I'd sign up for that on the spot.
And in reality, only maybe 6 teams every year could win a title. But that doesn't mean that there aren't 20 teams that are competing for successful seasons to be competitive.
Do you think it's that low?
I think there's probably more than 20, but I'm just kind of
I'm talking about to compete for a title. You think it's only 6?
I think so. It's going to always be Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, are all 3 people that are always in Michigan, depending on where.
You don't think teams like Texas and Washington and Oklahoma
consistently
and SC?
over time? I'm just putting it out there that it's every year there is a Texas, a Washington that kind of pokes into that, but they're always in that top 20 of competitive seasons.
You should see if Malachi Nelson wants to come to San Diego State, Slee, because he's leaving SC. He's in the portal. He was the #1 high school football quarterback recruit in the whole country.
Signed with Lincoln in Oklahoma, followed him to USC.
Yep. And now he's just like, I'm available.
And it doesn't even seem like
SC didn't want him.
I was going to say, it doesn't even seem like it's his decision. It's more that SC is moving on. And if there's any position where you're like, all right, if Lincoln Riley decides he's moving in a different direction, who's going to tell him, well, you don't know how to, you don't know quarterbacks. You don't know how to produce quarterbacks. That's the one position.
That's why this is so weird, because they get Nelson from Los Al. He's a local kid. And he commits to Oklahoma, like Em said. Then when Lincoln Riley decides to move to SC, he moves with him.
Yeah.
You're thinking, all right, they got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
They're going to hand it right off to Nelson, and here we go. Well, Williams is done, and then the announcement is, well, Miller Moss is going to play in the bowl game, and we're going to be very aggressive in the portal. And they've identified a guy. Was it K-State, Em?
Yeah.
They identified a kid from K-State. It's like, this was the #1 high school player in the country at that position. He didn't even say his name out loud. It was just bizarre how quickly they moved on from that. I don't know why. I mean, you could speculate a million different ways. I have no idea why.
It's how cold this transfer portal can be from both sides.
It's
both from the kid's side, if you're talented, or from the school's side, if it's not working. That both sides can be cold and cutting.
You better pick a place that you want to be at, even if football doesn't work out, or basketball, or whatever, because it may not work out.
And sometimes you go to the transfer portal and you never come out of it. And that's the sad part of it, too. Like, these kids think that there's NIL opportunity, that there's other opportunity to play, and that might not be true for everybody. So I feel like it's a really tough place for everybody to be. I want kids to be able to choose where they want to play, but it is very scary, I'm sure, if I was like a parent of somebody going through this.
No doubt. And you never know where you're going to be from one year to year. I mean, at college, I'm going to sound like an old man. I played sports in college. I got a scholarship. I got to do all this stuff. But my driving decision was not, I'm going to go here, and if I don't get enough innings, I'm going to go over here. It was, I want to be at Santa Barbara. I like these guys. I like this school. I want to do these things. And I wasn't making anybody any money, so it's not apples to apples. But it was if the whole thing goes to hell, do I still want to be here? Yeah. Doesn't seem like how many minutes do I get? How many shots do I get? How many passes am I going to throw? It's crazy.
People
It's
are pissed at
absolutely
you. They're mad at you.
For what?
The banner.
Oh, yeah?
They're mad at me, too.
Yeah, it's not the first time. Yeah. Factor Cap coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. And our friends at Next Gen Aaron Plumbing are honored to serve our community as SoCal's official handy neighbor, and that's why they want to say thank you with the Next Gen Season of Giving giveaway. They're giving away an incredible home safety and comfort gift package for the holiday season, and this giveaway, incredibly easy to enter. If your furnace or AC system is older than 5 years, log on to nextgenaaronplumbing.com before December 20th and click on the Next Gen Season of Giving giveaway link, then upload a picture of your furnace or AC system and tell us why you deserve to win. So if you're tired of your old, inefficient furnace or air conditioner not keeping you comfortable and running up your bills, let the whole home comfort and safety experts at NextGen make your holiday season bright and cozy. Enter to win today at nextgenaaronplumbing.com or call 833-3-NEXTGEN for details. That's 833-3-NEXGEN.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
So cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, the bowl game has started between Western Kentucky and Old Dominion, and their mascot is Big Blue.
Big Blue.
For Old Dominion. It's like a big bear with like a crown on it. I knew it had something to do with royalty, so.
Thought IBM was Big Blue.
I don't know. But if that was annoying you guys that I didn't know, well, now we know. All right, so today is National Twin Day. Okay, so I thought about this, and I always feel like it's a little interesting to find out that someone you know in adulthood is a twin. Because when you were a kid, you always knew the twins at high school. You know, oh, it's these guys. But as in adulthood, to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go visit my twin. I'm like, yeah. You have a twin? So it's always weird to find out someone you know in adulthood is a twin. Travis, Factor Cap?
Fact. In fact, I experienced that exact phenomenon a couple of weekends ago where we were at a holiday party and somebody told me they have a twin brother. And I would stop right there. What do you, there's another one of you walking around like a twin brother? Like you guys stood next to each other, I couldn't pick it out? He's like, yeah. I don't know why that's weird to me.
It's always weird.
But that's weird to me. That knowing that there's, like, if you told me you had a twin brother that lived in Seattle,
yeah,
I'd be like, there's another guy that looks just like you, Slee, that's just bumping around Seattle. That would throw me off.
He's on Seattle Sports Talk Radio. He doesn't have Slee, too.
They're also called 710. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Fact, no question about it. Had this happen a few years ago in this office, you know, David Kent.
Oh! We were out at lunch with Ken
That's
the
right.
other day when he told us that. I'm like, wait, stop right there. And he lives in Paris.
Yep.
That really freaks me out.
So there's a perfect example. I worked with Kent on that side, one of our MCs over there, marketing consultants.
Big Arsenal fan. Go Arsenal.
Yep. I remember 10 years I was working with him. And then like one day randomly, he's like, yes, I'm going to meet my, whatever. He's going to meet his brother. He goes, my twin brother. And, he's going to Europe, wherever he's going. I'm like, you're doing what? Yeah, I'm going to meet my twin brother. I'm like, David, you don't have a twin brother. I have not known you this long, and you've never told me that you have a twin brother. So fact for me.
Jorge?
Fact. And it happened. There's this guy we used to call Pitbull. We still call him Pitbull at the TV station. And then one of our, floor managers from the TV station was out and about. And the next time we saw Pitbull, was like, hey, man, I saw you yesterday and I went up to you. That's messed up. You didn't recognize me. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I went up to you. And, we have this thing where, like, we hug each other from the back. And he's like, yeah, well, I did that to somebody that looks like you. He's like, yo, that was my twin brother. We're like, whoa. So he was trying to mess around with his brother just the way we mess around with Pitbull. And Pitbull was like, yeah, like he got a kick out of it. But it is weird. If somebody, know somebody for years and they don't tell you that was your brother, that's
they'll
weird.
Put it up on, like, Instagram or Twitter where someone they have it's almost like they're confusing the baby, right? Like the baby's being handed off to the twin, and let's just say it's the first interaction they've ever had, and the baby's looking at the brother or sister and then looking back at the parent. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Doesn't know which parent
one's
to
dad
go
and which
to.
was
Right.
uncle.
Has
Yeah.
no idea.
I have cousins, Hayden and Justin, that are identical. They're indistinguishable from one another to me, but I've known them since they were babies, so it's not a big deal. But I've known that there was just another one out in the universe. It's a little different.
Oh, it's weird. All right, so we talked about it a little earlier, but it is Steven Spielberg's 77th birthday, so happy birthday, Steven. And he has like a million movies that are fantastic, but to me, this might be my favorite Steven Spielberg movie. I love Jurassic Park. It is my favorite Spielberg movie. So, Jurassic Park is your favorite Spielberg movie. Alan, fact or cap?
It's fact.
Really?
I know that's a ramble, but the age I was when that came out, Jurassic Park was such a big deal. I always think of, like, I can remember it vividly when they're looking at the water, right?
The ripples on the pond.
The ripples on the pond. And at that time, it was done so well, and it's like, oh my gosh, can this actually happen? What's his name from Seinfeld is in the movie?
Newman.
Newman.
Yeah.
And I know that tie is just so
Wayne
random.
Knight.
Wayne Knight. But yes, it is my favorite. It's the movie that I think of first, and I think it just has to do with the age when it came out.
All right, Trev?
Jurassic Park is cap. It's not my favorite Spielberg movie. I like it. It's good, but I've got two that when I think of Spielberg, they could just kind of jump to the very top of the list. One was when I saw it as a kid, and it terrified me.
It's Jaws.
Yep. And it's still, when you flip around, you see it on Netflix or whatever, I'll watch 20 minutes. It's just awesome. It's scary. It's
But you get
suspenseful.
nervous, so then you have to change it.
Absolutely. And the other one, more as an adult, that I think we've talked about this for one reason or another. It's one of, if not the very only movie that still kind of haunts me even after I've seen it. This movie's 20 years old at this point. It was Saving Private Ryan, which was just I don't think I could have done that. The bravery that it took to do what those men did.
Of course.
And to be able to create a film that makes you kind of relive that or makes you experience that and what it must have been like is an incredible achievement.
Like the POV.
The artistry to convey that emotion to somebody sitting in a theater is extraordinary. So those are the two for me.
Jorge?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Al on this one, especially when the T-Rex is chasing the car and then, just the way they make those dinosaurs come to life. And then when you go to Universal Studios, you get on the ride and you get to see some of those things. It's just pretty cool. Like, yeah, I'm with, Jurassic Park.
Spielberg's so great at, just working with kids, about working with, like, nostalgia. His movies always feel like a little bit of a warm hug. Even the more serious tones of the movies, like in Schindler's List and with Saving Private Ryan, they're all well done. And if you haven't yet and you like Spielberg, watch The Fabelmans. It's a great movie about it's autobiographical.
Right.
So if you're a fan of Spielberg, go watch that. It came out last year. So this weekend, there was the PNC Championship, which was a golf championship, but between professional golfers, and their children would play with them. So we all know about Charlie and Tiger Woods, but also there was this between Annika
Sorenstam
and her son. And so I'm going to play this sound for you real quick of after they had completed their day of golf. And this is both the son and Annika speaking.
It's the best week of my year and life I have, and it's so much fun being able to do it with her. And thank you, PNC, for everything.
I can see tears in your eyes. I know it was an emotional walk down 18. Was it emotional for you, Annika?
It is. Because it's so much fun. We have a good time together, and we walked. I mean, obviously, we wanted to do a little better today. But I think just walking together and having a good time, and I was walking pretty fast on 18. He says, "Slow down, Mommy. I want to enjoy this moment." So I think that's kind of what we did all week.
They're happy tears, right? Well,
yes, yes.
So I came across that TikTok last night. I started crying. It's because it's so.
Of course.
Everybody has at some point had this experience either with your parent or, I'm sure, as a parent to a child, of doing something you both love together. And also could be that you're doing a sport that you love together. So you have a great moment of doing a sport with your parent or with your child. Jorge, fact or cap?
I'm gonna say fact, and it's. When I took my mom to the TV station I started working at for the first time ever. Like, she walked in and all the guys, like, I didn't tell anybody else bringing her in. I was just like, hey, come, what are you doing today? She's like, nothing, I'm off, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I want you to come to the TV show and see what I do for a living for the first time. Like, she's always heard about it at school the whole night. She comes with me to the TV station and all the guys are like, hey, when you're around a bunch of guys, they tell you stuff that your mom might not want, to hear. So they didn't know she was coming. So then I'm like, hey guys, this is my mom. They're like, oh, they cover their mouths like, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Your son is great. And it's just watching her watch me what I did. It was just one of those things where full circle, like, this is what you wanted me to do, and I'm doing it. So yeah, it's that moment. That's awesome. The one.
Trev?
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've had both. I've had it both with my dad and with my sons and my daughter, where and it has nothing to do with whether you're playing a sport or going. It's just you get a moment where you get to spend time with them, and it's meaningful. And when you realize that it's meaningful to them as well, that's when. And it's incredibly emotional both ways. But when you're the child in it, it's different when you're the parent in it, because when you're on the parent side of it, Jorge, I'm sure you've experienced this too. Is just. It hits you on such a deep level. Like, you could hear that little boy's voice, and he was obviously emotional, but I can't imagine. She's one of the greatest golfers of all time. She might be the greatest female golfer ever. And I guarantee you, getting to do that with her kid is probably one of the highlights of her entire golfing career. It's just being with him. It hits you so differently. It's impossible to articulate, but you know it when you see it, and you saw it last night.
Right, especially, too, between professionals at that high level, your parents have to be involved in some way. Your parents influenced you so much, especially to be like a savant like Tiger Woods. And whether that relationship is complicated or not, it is something that's very tied to being so good at your sport, is what your parents did for you. Al? So,
fact, but the sport is going to be different for me. It's not playing in a sport, it's watching a sport together.
Sure.
So I think I've mentioned this, that one of the main reasons why I became a Laker fan as a kid, they play one preseason game down in San Diego at the Sports Arena. So fast forward to Kevin Durant's first year with the Golden State Warriors. There's a preseason game in San Diego at the Sports Arena. Lakers, and this is LeBron versus KD. Like, it's pretty much everybody. My mom came and got tickets for the fam. And this is my sisters. They were into it as well when we were all growing up. We used to literally, at the Sports Arena, I'd make them wait for Chick Hearn and Stu Lance to finish the broadcast so I could say hi to them. And then here we were, fast forward X amount of years later, back at the Sports Arena. Now I'm working, that whole frame of it. That's kind of one of those, well, this kind of came full circle. How the hell did we get here? So definitely fact on that one.
For sure.
Right. All right, so yesterday, this was, I think they were covering college football bowl games. So Booger McFarland was on the desk with some other guys that were covering. I think it was Trevor Maddich was also there, and Kevin Gandhi. And it was a rainy day in this one game. It's pouring down rain. And so Booger, we know and love Booger. He says some crazy things, but this is what he said, why he liked playing in torrential downpour.
Offensive lineman, when you're soaking wet and it's raining, and you got to go to the bathroom?
I wasn't
I'm saying seriously though. So listen, you have to find some good in this. So normally we have to go back in the locker room, but since everything is wet, it's good to go. You just let it flow.
All right. So,
That's interesting.
You didn't need to know this. Jorge, Factor Cap.
Absolutely not, man. Like, keep it to yourself. Imagine the guys that have to tackle you and all that stuff. Come on, man.
And maybe a competitive advantage, Chef.
Right.
Yeah,
Kind of glad I know it. It's gross, but I'm kind of glad
It's okay.
that I do know that. Look, football players are wired a little differently for a million different reasons. You could just add this to the list because, look, football pants are not easy to get on and off. They're not easy to undo to get access to what it is that you need to do.
You would know you're a football
So
family.
That's right. So maybe, just take advantage of the opportunity. It's not for me, but I'm glad that I know that it happens.
Al?
Cap. This helped us with our Factor Cap. So I'm glad I do know this. I think it's always an interesting conversation. There are players that have talked about it. I know in the NBA where they wouldn't put on deodorant. They would wear the same jersey over and over again. The BO was so bad. And part of their reason for doing that, so the guy didn't defend him. So that there are people that use that as a strategy. I know this is completely different, but I hope his pants weren't white or anything like that. I hope this was a dark color.
Mace weighed in on the Spielberg. He says that E.T. is his favorite
There you go.
Spielberg. There's a lot of right answers for the best Spielberg movie. So tweet at us.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of E.T.?
Reese's Pieces.
Okay, that's a really good answer. I think of him sitting in the basket on the bike. And I think you
As
know
they're flying, yeah. I know exactly what you're thinking about. Somebody else's face on that.
Right. Right. That's so when we were doing the morning show with Key, they put Key's face on ET in the basket. I can't unsee it.
That's it.
Sedano's the one, right?
It's over.
That's right. Sedano is pedaling.
That will always be there.
Pretty great. Lakers, when they're done turning their eyes to the rafters and hanging another banner, will they flip the switch back on against the Knicks and what's coming up the rest of the week? That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Tease this.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
All right, join us tonight for Lakers Live as we get ready for Lakers-Knicks tonight. The 7:10 Fun and Games Department will be at the Chick Hearn Court starting at 4 p.m. You can enter to win a D-Lo signed basketball. There'll also be the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden. You can meet the Laker girls and Laker legends. A Papa Shot, half-court shot. Join us tonight for Lakers Live at LA Live.
You should have a Papa Shot in your house. I've decided that that's something. There's
actually,
2 here. You should take one home at the end of the day.
Listen.
You're pretty good at it.
No, but it's not even that. It's not a terrible idea. B, how much fun are these freaking games to have at the house?
So where we sit in the studio, there's 2 Papa Shots kind of by the front door of our office. I don't know if anybody's ever come in and out and not taken a shot or 2. Almost everybody that goes by, when I go in or out, I'll pick up a ball and get a shot.
Do you have like a rule? I have a rule. Actually, this is a perfect example. Yesterday, there's a kind of a half-court outdoor hoop that I was like, I'm going to go shoot around. I haven't shot around in a while. So I go shoot around. Since I was probably a kid, it's the same rule. And I think every basketball player typically does. You can't leave without making your last shot.
Of course.
So when I come here sometimes and I take one and I miss, and I take another one, I miss 3 more, I'm like, okay, I'm going to end up going 1 for 5. I got to hit my last one before I take off, even in the stupid Papa Shot.
The only outside in a gym or whatever, you got to make your last shot. That's just society. You can't walk away without.
Does it have to be a layup or a jump shot or anything?
Ball just has to go through the net.
Yeah.
Like if I'm launching threes and I can't get one in, I'm going to move in. I'm going to get something in.
Can I throw one more wrinkle your way?
Sure.
What if it's not a clean one? It just kind of dribbles around a little bit.
Just got to go in for me.
Okay, yeah.
Just got to go in.
I need
for
it more
me.
a little clean. But,
I get it. I'm not judging you. That's fine. I respect it. But with the Papa Shot on the way out the door, 1 shot a day. And okay, I don't think I got like this much OCD in my deal, right? And I like streaks. I count random things, and we can get into this if you want, because there's a lot of really weird ones along the way. But I see how many days in a row I can make it, and then it's only 1. And if you miss, you go back to 0. And when I ask me what my record is,
3.
3 is the record.
That seems
3
pretty
is
good.
The record. Yeah.
When you got to 3 and you're on the 4th day, were you thinking about it at night? Was the shot a little tight? Was there a little don't overthink this, Trav?
No, but it's in there. You know what I mean?
Because you get to 3 again, now the pressure's on. You got to wait 24 hours.
There's a car that is frequently parked at the corner of where I pull in to come into my neighborhood.
Okay.
And I count how many days in a row it's there before it's not there, and I can't stop doing it.
Oh, wow.
It's I can't not notice if it's there or not. And I try to say, don't look, just skip it. I have to look every day.
Look.
And it's the record for that, if you're curious, is 7.
I was gonna go 8.
I
8
was
was
a
my
little
number.
bit. Like I can leave the room without flipping the light switch 200 times. I don't have that, but I got just enough of it along the way. Lakers tonight against the Knicks after they hang the banner. Knicks are a good team, maybe not a team that I know I love doing that. That's probably not going to win an NBA championship. Almost certainly not going to win an NBA championship.
Yeah.
The Lakers are in the other group. I think that they have expectations of being a championship team. Obviously, the in-season tournament was very important to them. They played their best basketball of the year in that. They haven't since the tournament ended.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
1 and 2 with a loss to a team that had lost 18 in a row.
With 3 very winnable games on the road. Dallas, the first one.
After tonight, the schedule gets far more interesting, right? You've got Oklahoma City, you've got the Celtics on Christmas Day, and you've got the Minnesota Timberwolves in between there, right?
So they'll go at Chicago Wednesday, and then they get the 3 games that you're talking about. At Minnesota, at OKC, Boston. 3 really good teams.
Do they flip the switch for those 3 games against Lee? Do we see the IST, the in-season tournament Lakers against those teams? Or is this more of a let's keep our powder dry so we're ready to go at the end of the line Lakers that we've seen for the last week or so?
So what will be interesting, the one against Minnesota is a second of a back-to-back. I'll tell you, from a Laker perspective, this is what I would expect. I would expect the Celtics game. It's flip the switch, full on, nationally televised, Christmas. You're playing against the Boston Celtics. I think that they're all in, as interested as you can be. I think the game against OKC, you got your ass kicked against them last time around. I think there's a little bit of, can we just kind of show these young guns too that when we want to play, we want to play. The tough one to figure out is that Minnesota game because it's a second of a back-to-back. We saw the Lakers even last week be very strategic with it. Braun doesn't play in a game. AD doesn't play in a game. D'Lo, Cam Reddish, Vando. They were kind of strategic after the in-season tournament. I think they got the ability to turn that switch on. I'm not a fan of that. That if LeBron wants to sit out, let the man sit out all day, no question about it. But for everybody else, unless there's something that's really, truly, it's in our best interest because this person has something that's, bothering them, I'm not crazy about it.
It's risky, right? It just, you practice like you play, right? And you play like you practice. And if you are, tonight's important, let's go get it. And then, tonight, and you're going to play like it. Eventually, you're going to want to say, hey, let's go have a big day today. Let's go compete at the highest level. Let's throw everything we got at them. And you have not played like that in a couple of days, and it's not there. I don't worry about LeBron being able to find it.
Yeah.
I really don't worry about Anthony Davis, quite frankly, being able to find it, because when he does that, hey, I'll be better next time, he almost always is, right?
And he's been pretty good all year.
He's been really good all year.
And available.
But the rest of the team, I think you want good habits. You want that competitive level to be pretty darn high all the time. I don't think D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, the rest of these guys can, tonight's important, I'll go for it. Tonight's a little less important, I can pick my spots. I don't like it for anybody other than those top two guys.
But here's the problem. If the top two guys, they're gonna send the message, right? LeBron sent the message in the in-season tournament, we're going, they all followed. That if Bron, I truly believe this too, if LeBron said, guys, this in-season tournament, like, it's not a big deal, let's play these games regular. This is it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
He was invested.
Everyone's going to follow.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can have either everyone's connected, or if one piece, even if Bron says it's not that big of a deal, it's this, that, I think they all kind of follow. I really do. Now, Anthony Davis might be the one where if Anthony Davis is all in on a game in December, that's just, the world's not going to end. I think there's a good chance that the Lakers have an opportunity to win that game. I don't think they can have this. I get what you're saying. I need Austin Reeves there every game. I need Cam Reddish there. I need D'Lo. I need all these. Rui's got to be there. But don't they just follow the leader?
Yeah, well.
The leaders?
Yeah, for sure they do. I keep coming back to, I'm in a pretty good spot with the Lakers right now, because when they had to have it, they look great. Mm-hmm. They looked really, really good when against Phoenix in the quarters, and then the two games in Vegas. And I get it; it's New Orleans, it's Indiana, it's not Milwaukee, it's not Denver, it's not Boston, Philly. I understand that, but they're big and they're experienced.
Length, they play defense,
and they play defense. They're a good team, and if they kind of want to twiddle their thumbs a little bit. I don't love it, but I can live with it. Yeah. That as we get closer to, say, the end of February, beginning of March, then we're going to have to turn up the dial a little bit, turn up the heat a little bit, and start being a little bit more consistent. But if they kind of want to, I'll steal Emily's line, if they kind of want to play with their food a little bit here and there before we get to the really important part, I'm not sweating it too much. I know what's in there. It looked great. Let's make sure we can find that when you need it most.
I would just say this. You can't be in the in-season tournament again. You can, you just don't want. I'm sorry, you can't be in the play-in tournament again. Yeah. You can, you just don't want to. And I think that's the one thing that I'll just make sure from their perspective. Make sure you're not in that play-in season. Just don't put yourself.
Randomness.
Yeah,
pops
you
up.
just the risk of anything happen. The other thing I'll say is I'm with you when they wanted to flip the switch. Here's the issue: you go look at the premier teams in the NBA. It's not like,
you're right.
Hey, they're 5-0 against them.
No.
It's really the bad teams where they've
right.
been beating up. I'd like to see them this week at Minnesota, at OKC, the Boston game coming up a week from today. Can they be in that position of, well, we're coming to win these games, and then come out on top?
So the Dodgers get Shohei Ohtani with $700 million, but have they changed the way they're going to go about everybody else too? It's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Head on into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Of course, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. For over 30 years, Valvoline has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people just like you. So before you pack up your ride and head out of town for your holiday parties, you're going to see grandma, you're going to see your best friend, you're going to go see your brother, head into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change and let the expert technicians make sure that your ride is at its best. You don't want to start off the holidays broken down on the side of the road. Get yourself into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. There are over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. In about 15 minutes, you're in and you're out. So visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Six to 10 a.m. right here on 710. The 12 Days of 710.
We've got caller number 7 in the 12 Days of 710.
And you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, Sedano box, or Cappy?
Pick a holiday box in the 710 studio.
All right, caller number 7 is on the line for the 12 Days of 710. Edgar Fernandez from Costa Mesa. Are you ready to pick a holiday box in the 710 studios? Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Take the Travis box.
All right.
The Travis box.
The Travis box.
Here we go. Let's see what's inside the box. Congratulations, you win a Sierra Subaru prize pack. And, of course, a gift card from our friends at Islands. And that's what's in the box, Jack.
All right, Edgar Fernandez, you heard it right there. A Subaru prize pack and an Island gift cards. Congratulations to you, Edgar. Let me ask you a question. What station takes care of you during the season of winning?
Oh, ESPN 710 LA.
There you go. Thanks, Edgar.
The 12 Days of 710.
The 12 Days of 710.
It's the season of winning on 710.
Got the Trav box again, Slee. I'm on a heater. I'm on a box heater.
How many times have they called your box?
I think
keep track.
I think I've had 3. I'm not gonna lie, it's 3, dude.
It's where you're keeping. Yeah, keep a scorecard.
I got some stuff.
Keep a scorecard.
I got some weird stuff. I think this goes back to like baseball cards. Like I got 3 Steve Yeagers. I got 4 Rick Mondays. I can't stop counting stuff that doesn't matter.
It's probably is literally that from the baseball cards.
I don't know what else it would be along the way. Did you see me on the Amazon Open last Thursday? I wasn't here on Friday.
Okay, I didn't see it, but Twitter got us. They got us covered.
If you sneezed or blinked, you would miss me.
Yeah,
I was in and out very quickly.
And then this one, you'll definitely be.
Yeah, well, hopefully you never know.
Yeah.
They might not use it at all. But it was interesting because I saw it. I went back and rewound it because, of course, I wanted to see myself. It goes without saying. I knew I didn't sound good last week. I didn't realize how bad I sounded.
So you understand why we kicked you out.
I do now. I do now, because when they cut to me, right, and I was talking about the Chargers and the Raiders, I'm like, whoa, that does not sound good at all.
You know what's funny about that? What was the first thing you were telling us? You're like, I'm so upset I wasn't here Friday to demolish the Chargers and the 63 points and everything else. I'm like, I think everybody had their swings at that team.
DeMarco said something so funny during the pregame show yesterday that when you get a chance to get your coach fired, you better not miss it. And the Chargers took an opportunity to get him fired. Like, okay, this is a disaster, because that game got out of hand in a hurry. And they basically just said, bleep it. We're done here.
It was literally the least surprising thing to happen. It was the worst kept secret. You just knew it was going to happen. The question was going to be when it was.
Yeah.
And really, by the time you got to the Raider game, if the only conversation we're having about the Chargers is, well, when are they getting rid of their coach? Well, you should probably get rid of your coach. Like, we're having that conversation. That didn't just start. Thursday wasn't a shocker. Friday morning wasn't a shocker that they get rid of Telesco and they get rid of Staley. It was more of, well, about time, but I don't think anybody was surprised by it.
And you said this on Friday. You also said this just now, that people are getting their licks in. And on Friday you said, you're starting to kind of feel at least a little bad for Staley just to have to go out and face the press.
I felt bad for Staley on Thursday doing the presser. I'm like, this guy should have been fired 6 weeks ago, and he's still answering the same exact questions from what should have been a month ago.
Because the reporters were asking him basically, you suck at your job. Yeah. Why do you suck at your job?
Do you deserve to come back to work on Friday?
But I think also he wasted 2 years at least of one of the greatest quarterbacks right now playing. He's wasted 2 years, and also that team has had talent. That team has had
Here's the problem I have with that.
And he's screwed it up.
Here's the problem I have with that.
All true.
The problem I have with he screwed it up.
Because he did.
If he didn't hire himself, number one. Even when you started realizing that, guys, I'm not sure. This guy's way over his,
he was about as unprepared for that job as anybody I've seen have that job in a really long time.
He didn't improve. He did not fix himself.
But he should have never. I think you're not wrong in what you're saying, that, hey, this is Brandon Staley's fault. But just go one step above.
Yeah.
How is it that, A, he got the opportunity for being that bad?
Yeah.
B, once they started realizing this dude thinks he's recreating the NFL. There's a reason why all these other great coaches do it the way they do. I just go back. I would say Dean is wasting, and the Spanos family is wasting Herbert's life or his career more than Staley
I agree
was.
with that. I think that the lack of success that Justin Herbert has had is far more on the ownership than it was on the two head coaches that he's had.
Not that he's helping. Not that Staley helped at all.
He's not. Yep. He isn't. The problem that I have with Staley is what you just mentioned, Emily. It's one thing that, look, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and he clearly did not, and the players did not respond to his leadership at all. But when you have a plan, whatever the plan is, and the universe keeps telling you, dude, your plan sucks.
Yep.
You got to go to a different plan, right? When you keep going for it on fourth down, and we'll just use this as an example, when your fourth down management is always wrong, let's try the other thing. Is he the second coming of Sean McVay? Obviously not, right? This is one of the branches on the McVay tree that did not thrive. We've seen Cincinnati and Green Bay and Minnesota. We've seen it work in a lot of places, and it's great. This didn't, but if you keep going right, and every time you turn right, you run into a brick wall, you're going to have to turn left eventually, and he keeps turning right.
Does he?
Does
he have to?
Staley might have come from the Sean McVay world of stubbornness, where, Sean McVay wants to throw the ball 3 times when they're on the goal line. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Sean McVay would turn right 4 times in a row, but the 5th time he's going to go left.
Right, because he'll realize.
Exactly.
But, okay, not to defend the Spanos, and I'm not defending the Spanos whatsoever, but at the time, you're thinking about, you're hiring a defensive Sean McVay. You're hiring the guy that was under Sean that had a really good defense going for the Rams at the time, and you think, okay, this is money. I'm going to get the defensive version of Sean McVay, and clearly that didn't work out. But to have it last so long,
I was just going to say, I think everyone through his first 2 years as a head coach, I don't think there was a person out there saying, guys, I'm not sure Staley's cut out for this, right? At least the question was there. And then you have Sean Payton waiting, saying, I would love to coach without saying it. It was the worst kept secret of he wants to coach the Los Angeles
haymakers from TV.
Manhattan Beach.
He wants to coach the Los Angeles Chargers, and the fact that he didn't get that opportunity. And by the way, we'll see what happens. Maybe Harbaugh eventually decides, you know what, I want to go to the NFL. Maybe Belichick decides, I want to go to the NFL. It's back in the Spanos' hands again of what to do, and I don't feel like they have the best interest of winning. And that's all it comes down to.
They're in such a weird spot because they're not the second team in Los Angeles. They're not the third or fourth or probably even sixth or seventh. If you were really talking about like passionate fan bases in this city, Raiders are still number one. They are, for better or for worse. The Rams, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Eagles,
Pick
the
'em all.
Steelers, the Chiefs. They all have very passionate fan bases here in Los Angeles. Chargers don't. They just don't. And to Emily's point, you have a quarterback in Justin Herbert that is generally considered one of the best guys in the league, and yet nobody in this town is excited to have him in this town. It's weird. If Justin Herbert were the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, he'd be a big deal, right? Because everybody in Seattle's fired up for it.
Let's take it, just simplify it. He would own San Diego.
Oh, sure he
right?
would.
It just also comes down to, like you said, the market, but the market that they were in, he would own San Diego. He just would.
You're forgetting about that one woman that really likes the Chargers, Travis, okay? Yeah. You're forgetting about her.
Oh, my gosh. I was watching TV. It was last week when I didn't do the Ravens game, right? So they're running commercials, for football and all these things. They had a Charger commercial, like to order season tickets or whatever. She's in the commercial. Like
as she should be. She's their fan.
Meltdown that she had in the bus. Like, come on, man. Really? Yeah.
She's a bobblehead. You can buy her as a bobblehead now.
Can you
so
really?
Excited.
Yeah. That's your identity?
Yep.
Is that woman going nuts?
That's good.
All right. You got something.
Join us tonight for Lakers Live as we get ready for Lakers Knicks tonight. The 710 Fun and Games Apartment will be at Chick Hearn Court starting at 4 p.m. You could enter to win a D-Lo signed basketball. There will be, of course, the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden. You can meet the Laker girls, Laker legends, a Papa shot, half-court shot. Join us tonight for Lakers Live at LA Live.
You mentioned him a second ago, Al. Sean Payton. Did you see him absolutely light up Russell Wilson this weekend?
I like it. By the way,
wild.
Okay, is it just me, or there's only a certain amount of coaches that can A, yell at their players like that, B, yell at, look, like him, don't like him, Russell Wilson's Russell Wilson. There's also that, wait a minute, is this going to go well? This is a quarterback that's getting paid X amount of dollars. He's kind of, if you want to call it, still the face of the franchise. I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
However you want to describe it, there's only a few that can do that. He lit into him.
I want to go a step further. I don't know if there's another one because there are some older. Andy Reid doesn't do that, so he's not doing it. Mike Tomlin's terrifying, but he's not a yeller in your face like that. He may, behind closed doors, let you know how displeased he is. At the press conference, he may say something that scares you.
I feel like Vrabel could.
Vrabel, yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Yes.
But Vrabel's, again, of that next generation. Belichick's not a yeller and a screamer. He's just Sean McVay and these guys, Pete Carroll, super positive. Like, they're not in. He was literally pumping his finger in his face and screaming at him. And it felt like when your mom or your dad is just lighting you up.
That's what I just thought of. Yeah, I was saying that too.
And you realize, okay, I just got to sit here and don't say a word. Don't make it worse. Let them get it out. Let them get it out, and then just say, okay, and walk away. And that's what Russell Wilson felt like.
And that's probably the respect, right, that Russell Wilson has. Like, I got to just take this one. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to make it a bigger deal. I'm not going to go back at him. Now I'm disrespecting the coach. It's like, I'm just going to take it.
It's because it's working. Because last year, apparently, it felt like nobody could tell Russell Wilson that what he was doing was wrong. No, he had his own office. He did his own meeting. He did his own schedule. It's almost like the Ohtani, but not as good. And this year, I think he's been taken down a peg, and I think he's playing better. I think he's playing a little more humbly, maybe. I don't know.
Popovich would always coach Tim Duncan, Tony Parker the hardest, right? And just make sure that those guys were the guys that wore the brunt of his attacks. So I can do it to everybody. Because if I just do it to the fifth guy on the team and I don't do it to the best player, it's like, well, he just doesn't think I'm as good enough. But if I light up Russell Wilson, I can go light up everyone else on the team, and it's okay because I just did it to the golden child.
He's literally famous for doing that. Tim Duncan's told the story. Potts told the story. Other players that told the story where he would just tear into him. He'd tear into Tim Duncan, and then Steven Jackson would be on the bench. It's like, well, I can't say anything. I mean, if he's going after Tim Duncan like that, what the hell am I going to say?
So there is definitely openings in the NFL for places like Panthers and now the Chargers. But there are some openings that aren't quite open yet, like the Steelers and the Patriots. Again, I'm not saying about the Steelers, but it could happen this year. If you're a free agent coach and you have your choice of where to go, would you rather go Patriots, Chargers, or Steelers?
Oh, the Steelers. You're going to be there for 30 years.
I was just going to say, I was going to say, I'm looking
maybe
at...
not longevity, but maybe like if I want to win next year or in like 3 years.
Okay, that's a different question. Like if I'm saying I got to punch my ticket in the next couple of years, but if you're saying I want to be a head coach in the NFL and I want to be able to install culture, I want to be able to really set up what I think is a successful
Chargers
thing.
would be my last choice on
Chargers would be the absolute
And even
last.
though it's the most attractive of it's ready,
weapons.
potentially ready now, even
location
though I think,
and all of those things.
It's just, you got to look at, well, give me a history of, I guess the other thing that could actually go the Chargers' way as well, you're kind of playing with no expectations. In Pittsburgh and New England, you're instantly, hey, show us something, show us results.
If you're Jim Harbaugh, and you have had culture everybody's gone, and you want to coach your way, do you want to go Chargers, Patriots, or Steelers? Because I feel like if you're Jim Harbaugh specifically, I think that the Steelers is a place where, again, he can make it work.
I think he can make it work. I think that they'd win because Jim Harbaugh is a really good football coach.
Yeah.
But the Steelers have had 3 head coaches since the 1960s. Mm-hmm. Okay? They've had 3 guys since the 60s.
Unheard of in sports.
So Jim Harbaugh is not setting up shop there. Jim Harbaugh is a 4 or 5, 6, 7 year max guy, and I'm down the road. That is not what the Steelers do. Jim Harbaugh is a wildly abrasive personality. He is, I don't have any personal history with him, but from my understanding of people that have and have been around him, he's deeply unlikable. Like he's just one of these guys that kind of rubs everybody the wrong way. The Steelers clearly value culture and fit and all those things. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. He absolutely is. But I wonder if the Steelers would jump on something like that just because it's like, he's going to, even if we nail it, he's gone in 5 or 6 years. That's just how his resume lays
But he's
out.
Successful everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Would you? I don't know if I'd want to do Pats all over it. Chargers all over it. Raiders all over it. They jump on it in a second.
Even the Pittsburgh way of who knows? We're in such a day and age now that it's just so much more accepted that somebody coaching somewhere for 5 to 7 years, it's a long time.
Yeah,
it is.
Right? McVay's got a long tenure with the Rams, and I think he'll be here as long as he wants to be here.
He's still the youngest coach in the league.
It's crazy. And Mike Tomlin's, before McVay won his Super Bowl, Mike Tomlin was the youngest coach to win the Super Bowl, and I think Tomlin was almost 10 years older.
Yeah. No, Sean McVay has been a head coach in the league for 7 years, and he's still the youngest head coach in the league. And the league is getting younger, and he's still the youngest head coach in the league.
And I understand this would be Tomlin's first quote unquote losing season, and I'm not burying him yet, but there comes a time where even people are so talented, it's just not working anymore.
It's been a long time. A fresh voice and all those things certainly can make it. Look what the Rams did. They were kind of flat and moribund and nowhere for a very long time since the greatest show on turf. They went through a bunch of head coaches. None of it really worked. You get the right guy, and it explodes. And they've been good, really, ever since Sean McVay walked into the building. Tyler Glasnow, 5 years, big contract extension, $136 million. Very un-Dodger-like. It's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Rams with a huge win yesterday at SoFi. We are all over it today on 710 ESPN. It is a Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Spend all day with LA's mega sports station as you get pumped up for the Lakers and Knicks. That is tonight on 710 ESPN. And Slee, I think this falls firmly into the category of too little, too late. Our picks from the weekend, I finally had the perfect week. I got all 10 points, but everybody else did pretty well too. So I had 10, you had 8.
I thought I was doing damage, and then when you send out a screenshot, I'm like, I did nothing. I lost ground.
Jorge had 8. Emily had 6, but the standings basically stayed the same.
I blocked you after you said that. I was not having it.
Jorge's in the lead with 88. Emily's in second with 84, so she's still got a very good chance of reeling in Jorge. I'm 10 points behind Jorge at 78, and Slee, you are in the cellar at 73.
Oof.
Yeah, you got to get hot. I had a weird moment when.
What are you up on me? 5?
5.
Okay.
So yesterday at the end of the Rams game, the Commanders get that garbage time touchdown, right? Mm-hmm. And the game was never in jeopardy. The Rams were going to win the game. But when they scored after their 48th attempt from the 1-yard line, when they finally got it in, I'm like, go for two, because the line was 6.5. Had they gotten it, it would have gone to 6.
You only had 1 point on that game.
I only had 1 on the Rams. Slee, you had 3. Emily had 4. Jorge had 3. I could have really kind of made some moves right there if that game, if they don't get that kick blocked and they go for 2. Who knows?
Okay, so
thank you, Ron Rivera.
Right.
This is my week 1, I think, of the NFL this year. AK was in. So I didn't make my picks. AK did. Week 2, I decided to try I'm going to go completely opposite of you.
Uh-huh.
And I got 0 points that week. So I basically didn't participate in the first 2 weeks, and I have not been able to rebound since then.
Well, other than
So
Jorge,
here's my question now. We're at this stage of the game. I only had 1 week of information, data, of when I went completely opposite against you.
Yeah.
Maybe I try and see if I could get some extended data to see what that looks like this upcoming week.
Well,
I'm already out of the mix anyways.
You're going analytics for the future?
Yes.
You're getting a jump on next season? Yeah, why
I think
not?
so. I think I'm gonna try
Why
that.
not?
I don't think I go opposite you. I think I go opposite him.
Well, you realize you can't go opposite, right? I know we've covered this before, but the rotation goes around.
True.
So you're not behind the same person every time.
True. So I can't, but as best as I can, it's
can't
like
do that.
I could have 3 picks different or 2 picks different or
You
whatever.
could
it
do
is.
that.
Yeah.
All
Swag
right.
system. That's what I'm saying.
You just
Swag. I just picked
your team is the best team, and you just keep sticking them in the 4 spot.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah,
They've
that
been
hasn't helped us.
cleaning up. Okay.
I've
At
got
this
the
point-
Niners wrong 38 weeks.
I get them because the lines are huge,
Yeah.
and they're still covering the lines. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, are you just crushed?
bust.
Because
Yes.
they're the best team,
They are.
comfortably so.
Yeah, I'll be, disappointed for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this year, I don't think what
Purdy
I
can't win the MVP, can he?
He doesn't. He shouldn't win MVP.
Come on.
No, but no. Listen, he shouldn't win MVP, and that's no knock on him.
Right.
It's not people that think, oh, that's jacked up. No, there's no knock on him. He's on an unbelievable football team. That's it. It's okay.
We saw what it looked like when Debo was out for a little while. We saw what it looked like when Trent Williams was out for a little while. And I'm not saying that anybody wouldn't struggle if your number one wide receiver and your left tackle aren't in the building. I get it. But they're the only 3 games that the Niners lost. That if he couldn't at least keep them in a couple of those, win one or of those along the way, that's what, Patrick Mahomes isn't going 0 for 3 in that situation. He might go 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, but that's what an MVP is, right?
They don't. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Listen, the Purdy thing, it's cool. Love the story, the whole thing.
Second-year kid, it's okay.
But he's on an unbelievable team. What they need to do for the Niners, you got to have home field. They can win on the road. I'm not saying that they can't, but they had the game against the Rams. It was not in San Francisco. I know there was a lot of fans here. You're in position right now. They got, I think on Christmas is the Baltimore game. That's really the last tough game that they have. And I don't know, if this will end up coming down to
the Rams in Week 18.
It's not. I just don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna mean
the Rams
anything.
may need it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna mean anything to them. And
Yeah.
even if it doesn't mean anything to them, if I'm the Niners, I'm going for the throat. That's what I'm doing. If I could take the Rams out, I'm taking the Rams out.
You wonder if, again, we're putting the cart so far ahead of the horse, it's like around the corner in another county. Do the Rams get a little clever? And let's say the Rams have they win on Thursday.
Okay.
They beat Tommy
Giants
DeVito,
as well.
Tommy
Yep.
Cutlets on Sunday on New Year's Eve, and they're in the playoffs. They've clinched a playoff spot. But winning or losing Week 18 against San Francisco determines whether you're in the 6 or the 7. Do you pick your opponent at that point?
You're playing the gods. You play the game straight up. And you can't play the gods like that because
So-
they're going to make you lose.
I have another question. Give me an idea of what
Detroit or Philadelphia, or Detroit or Dallas, because the NFC East team will be the 2.
Yeah.
And the NFC North team will probably be the 3, or those could be flip-flop. But you basically can decide, I want to play the Cowboys or the Eagles or the Lions. Inside,
Cowboys
by the way, in
or the
Detroit.
Eagles. I want to play the Lions, my brother. I get it.
I think so, too.
I want to play the Lions. So I think how do I creatively do it without anybody knowing?
Well, look, Matthew Stafford's knee's bothering him, right? Cooper Kupp's got a sore hip. Aaron Donald's groin is a little tight. It's not impossible to do.
Yeah.
You just start taking guys off the field. I like what I'm seeing over here. We'll get to that coming up.
You're about to get hooked
in a
up.
little bit. Tyler
get hooked up.
Glasnow is going to turn 31 years old in the middle of this upcoming season for the Dodgers in August. When he's healthy, he's about as good as there is. He's terrific. He's not often healthy. He's had a lot of health problems, injury problems along the way. The Dodgers did something they don't do. They gave an injury-prone player a 5-year deal at huge dollars, $136.5 million.
Don't go any further. You first saw that deal go down, and you saw that it was the Dodgers wanted to make sure that there was an extension, that they were signing him for that trade to go down. You see the 5 years, 136. What's the first thing that went through your mind?
They know something that no one else does. That was the first thing that went through my mind.
Okay, that's not went through my mind.
Yeah, the first thing that went through my mind was they know why he's not been able to stay healthy, and they believe they can fix it. That's the first thing that went through my mind.
So you're giving the Dodgers the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
Because if any other team, if the Angels signed Tyler Glasnow to a 5-year, $136 million deal at age 30, what would you say?
That they signed the wrong guy. That this is the only way you can get a guy like that, is an injury-prone guy who can't stay on the field because they have a track record of signing bad deals.
Yep.
The Dodgers don't do deals like this.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. The point that I'm trying to get at is the first thing that I thought of was, well, everyone keeps telling me, and you watch the way the Dodgers do business, they do not do business that way, especially for a player like you said.
For sure.
Age-wise, how much you're committing to him, and he's injury-prone, I was very surprised. But then that made me think of the pressure that comes with Shohei Ohtani deferring $68 million a year, and I'm sure having the conversation with the Dodgers, go freaking get players because we got a season coming up here and we don't have enough pitching.
That's a huge part of it. They need pitching. They need it right now, and they need to maximize the front half of this Ohtani deal. Not that Ohtani's going to crater in the second half, but the first half's going to be better than the second half. That's just sports, right? But what makes me feel pretty good about this, tell me, there's one, and it's very obvious.
Okay.
Tell me the really bad deal the Dodgers have signed under Andrew Friedman over the last 5 or 6 years. It's Trevor Bauer.
Sure.
It's the one. And it had nothing to do with baseball. It had everything to do with Trevor Bauer, did what Trevor Bauer.
And it was a short-term deal.
It was a short-term deal, but super high dollar. And it was a disaster, right? Yeah. He wasn't there very long. They release him, and it was a disaster by any measure. That's the bad deal. They don't. So to use the Angels as your example, right?
Yeah.
The Angels almost always do the wrong thing. The Dodgers almost always do the right thing. So I'm going to assume this is the right thing because they did it. It did go, well, that's not what they typically do. But the fact that they did do it leads me to believe I think they they know how to keep him healthy. They believe that he's going to be an effective pitcher for that period of time. That they did it. If another team did it, if the Giants did it, if the Mariners did it, it'd be one of those, hey, you got to take a risk. But the Dodgers don't have to take a risk, and yet they did it anyway.
Well, I think they have to take risks now. I think, listen, I really do think the Shohei coming over, I don't think you could do business the same way that you were doing it before.
Years,
I agree with that. That's why I thought the 1 year that he had coming, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. They have a ace pitcher. What's the risk? There is no risk. You got him for 1 year, and then you kind of move on.
They got to be aggressive in the short term, but they could have been aggressive without doing the extension. We'll see.
Yeah.
But He'll
probably be a stud. I'm not saying that he's not. I go back to how the Dodgers have been doing business, and that did not seem like a Dodger deal at all.
That's kind of why I like it, because they don't step out of their lane very often, and if they did it, leads me to believe that they think they're going to be in their lane.
Or you can make an argument that they also need to change too, and sometimes you do have to go spend that money and hope that it pans out.
You just win the World Series. Everything's fine. Hot and cold coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
The Los Angeles Rams have a lucky number.
Who's cold? Thanks to Next Gen. And now time for What's Hot. How about CVS Photos? Take it away, Producer M.
All right, this is kind of a funny one. All right, so a family in San Francisco posted on TikTok so they were going to go get some photos developed at CVS. And they're going through the photos at CVS, and they look and they see someone they recognize that's not them. It's Tom Brady. They got a photo of Tom Brady and his kids.
What?
Just in their collection of photos.
Like current photo?
Yeah, a current photo with Tom Brady and his kids. It looks like they were like at Foxborough or at 49er Stadium. Either way. So they posted this to TikTok saying, this is a strange story. I don't know how this happened. Tom Brady posts and says, hey, my mom probably was printing off photos and they got mixed in with yours at some point. So they may have gotten Mrs. Brady's photos mixed up. It reminded me of a test.
Can we just say for a quick second here? So Tom Brady, all I could envision was Tom Brady waiting at CVS, just like,
where's the picture of me with my kids
walking around?
The 2-hour
walking
photo.
around like, it's 50% off the Halloween items because it's past Halloween. You know what I mean? Just like trying to buy certain items.
You can get jug handle wine for $3, right? One of those gallon things of bad wine with the little glass handle.
Exactly. It reminded me of a task that I had. So when I was an NFL Films intern, we would be given tasks occasionally that we would just do as a favor to the producers if we had nothing else to do. So one of my tasks was Michael Strahan's mom had lost a lot of photos of him as a kid, and I think it was a fire or a flood, something like that, where all of them got destroyed. And we had done a project on Michael Strahan earlier in that year, and so they're like, hey, Emily, can you take this flash drive and just print off a bunch of photos for Mrs. Strahan? So I was like, okay. I go to my little CVS in New Jersey, and I go to put this thumb drive in, and it's a lot of photos, and the device was taking a long time, so it took me 2.5 hours.
How many pictures were you printing?
It was like 70 photos at least,
gosh.
but it was going very, very slowly because of the weather or something they said. And so it was just these photos of baby Michael Strahan being printed out. And honestly, people were paying attention. They would know that they were not my family members.
That's so random.
So, that was a fun little task that I had to do with NFL films. All right, so
why is that woman printing off pictures of Michael Strahan as a child? Like, is this? Do I need to call the FBI? Yeah, I would be thinking that this is like stalkery behavior. I would know where you are in the store the entire time.
Have you ever used? It's actually a good gift to get. It could be like a birthday gift, something like that. You ever use any of these Costco photo centers or anything? You could create like a album. That's
Shutterfly is
Shutterfly is a perfect
that.
example. But like,
it's my favorite thing I get every Christmas. Susan does like the family year in review every year. It's because we all got a million pictures on our phones.
It does nothing. You don't look at them. No.
Right? So you get that book. It's tremendous.
But you need to get those digital frames.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, those are cool. They just flip.
And you can download them from like remotely too.
Exactly.
It's pretty sweet.
All right, so now it's time for Who's Cold.
And now time for Who's Cold. Jake Browning.
All right, so Jake Browning has been a savior to a lot of fantasy football owners who may have gotten their quarterbacks got injured during the season, but he has put up numbers the past couple of weeks. All right, so he played a team in the Vikings that had cut him at one point in time. And so he decided to take that personally. So I'm going to play, there's 2 clips in this one clip that I'm going to play. The first one is Jake Browning talking in the postgame after, and then the second clip is Jake Browning to the camera after the game-winning drive, or game-tying drive for the Bengals. So here's the Jake Browning.
There was definitely a little extra part of, just before the game. Like, I remember getting cut there the last time and just being told, like, hey, we might have a spot for you on practice squad. Like, go to the hotel and wait. And so I sat in the hotel for like a couple hours, not knowing if I had a job or not. And then just basically got a text or a call from my agent that, they didn't tell me. Like, I had been there for 2 years, and, I've been cut my fair share of times, and that was probably the shittiest one. And there was a little bit more this week. I know I denied it, and there's some great people over there. It's completely different coaching staff and everything. And I want to emphasize, like, there are some incredible people over there, but that one felt good.
All right, so if you didn't catch it, you should never, cut me. So Jake Browning, I think that's the peak of yourself. You avenged a wrong, and it's great.
There can't be anything that's more satisfying, gratifying than someone telling you you're not good enough to work for me, play for me, date me, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then you get an opportunity to just very definitively prove that wrong. Not only am I good enough to play for you, I'm better than what you have. I'm going to beat you in this situation. And that's what he did. Look, they've won 3 in a row. They're right in the middle of the playoff mix. That when Burrow went down, it felt like they were dead in the water.
Yep.
He's been really good for them the last 3 weeks.
So that's where I was going to get to. I was going to say, of course, it's added motivation that you're going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, this is a squad that cut you. And he's telling the story of how he got cut, too. This wasn't one of those... whatever. He's sitting there waiting in his hotel, waiting for an answer. You're not only winning, you're not only beating Minnesota, but when Burrow goes down, everybody's like, well, okay, Bengals are done. Who's going to now grab that playoff spot? They're in the playoff spot right now.
Yep.
They're 8-6. They're in that 6th seed. This is not too much different, and this is why there's already hype behind it. What if the Rams get the Lions coming up in the playoffs? A big part of that story is Jared Goff's probably not going to say much during the week if that's the playoff match.
Neither is Sean McVay.
Probably not going to say much. They're going to kind of sit back and then say, you know what, look, it just happens to be like this, but they've been successful. Look what we're doing as the Lions. But you don't think the coach of the Lions is not finding a way to motivate his players around Jared Goff? You don't think if they beat the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs, Jared Goff probably wouldn't have a quote like this. It's something that somebody doesn't believe in you and you go out eventually beat them.
Jake Browning's making himself some money too.
Yeah, he is.
Because he'll either the Bengals will take care of him to keep sure that if something happens to Burrow moving forward, that they have a guy that they can trust, or somebody else will because he's
under
proved,
that role, or
he's proved I can win games in this league, and we see what's going on around the league. Teams are on their third and fourth quarterbacks in some situation, and he just needed a little. It looked pretty lousy when he first got in there, but in the last 3 weeks,
they're in games.
He's the reason they're winning.
Yeah.
Would you rather be Jake Browning? Would you rather be Jake Browning and get a opportunity to be a starter somewhere and then mess up, or would you rather stay be a Bengals backup quarterback?
I want to be a starter.
I was going to say, I think you got to be a starter because I think the backup will always be there.
Right. The backup will be there. And
you save your head, you save your body, you save everything else, and you still get paid a lot of money by the Bengals.
You make a lot of money, but you don't make starting quarterback money.
And I don't think these guys want to, look at the way his emotion during that clip that you played. Does that sound like somebody that's shying away from wanting to be a starter? I don't think so.
No. And one good run as an NFL starting quarterback, even if it's only for 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
You're good. And then you can go be the backup for the next 4 or 5 if you need to be. It's the reason Baker Mayfield didn't stay with the Rams. So I can go start over here in Tampa. He's going to get another look at it. He'll probably get another contract, and he can go put God knows how much more money into his bank. Who's hot? Who's cold? It's brought to you by NextGen. NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. The Dump is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. So I went out to the desert this weekend. My son had a baseball tournament. We took the Silverado Slee, right? Put all the gear in the back, nice and comfortable up front. It's the favorite car I've had in I don't know how long. So if you've been thinking about that new Chevy car or truck, if you've been thinking about a Silverado specifically, get yourself out to Rotolo Chevrolet, because here's what they have at Rotolo. Every Silverado that you can imagine, every make, model, color, they're going to get exactly what it is that you have in mind. The pricing, you're not going to get beat on the pricing. The customer service, second to none. Literally, 13 years in a row, they've been the dealer of the year. 13 years. Nobody wins MVP 13 years in a row. Nobody wins a title 13 years in a row. Rotolo Chevrolet has been dealer of the year for 13 years in a row, and they do it by taking care of you, me, and everybody that comes onto the lot at Rotolo Chevrolet. Go see for yourself what all the fun's about. It's right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit, right there in Fontana. Go in and find out why they've won it 13 years in a row. Go find out why Mike Capozio's dancing on TV, because they're taking care of people, courteous, transparent. Up front, you're going to feel great about your purchase at Rotolo Chevrolet. And if you can't get into the store, go online at rotolochevy.com, ROTOLO, rotolochevy.com, and tell them that Travis sent you.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Sunday for their live Rams postgame show from the Rays Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and interact with Travis and Kirk. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Reminder, party, oh party, Sunday after the game. Come see Travis and Kirk and enjoy a postgame meal and drink at the Rays Lounge right after Rams football is done. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Some good birthdays today, Slee. We got Brad Pitt. This can't be right. Brad Pitt's 60.
Woof, woof.
No way.
No.
60 years old?
Brad Pitt can't. Brad Pitt, if you told me Brad Pitt was 45, I don't think I'd believe you.
He's been around for a while.
I know he has. Like when you stop and think about it, that does not look like. Think about what you, in your mind's eye, think about what a 60-year-old man looks like. Okay?
Not like Brad Pitt.
And then think of what Brad Pitt looks like. 60?
He's a year younger than a year older than my dad. And my
Does your
dad
dad
does
look
not
like
Come on, man. It's Benjamin Button. Come on, man.
I get, but in
That
real
is
life,
Benjamin Button. That's right.
You think Brad Pitt's enjoyed his life much?
I think he's okay.
He may have made some mistakes here and there.
Yeah, well, look, Emily, who hasn't, right? Who hasn't made a couple of mistakes along the way? You learn from your mistakes. You try to make sure that you don't repeat the same ones.
Brad and Jennifer, though, oof.
Yeah. Well,
great.
By the way, they would have made like super children.
Well, him and Angelina Jolie made some super children.
Good point. Good
Can't
point.
tell if Michael Thompson
Michael
on
kind
the
of
other
shrugged
side
his shoulders like, what? I got the Brad Pitt
Well,
thing going
I
on.
can't tell, too. I'm assuming, Michael, that's not the newest and latest Ohtani gear yet, correct? This is just Dodger gear? Okay.
That's Trace gear.
The first thing I wanted to do so I was doing the pre when the Ohtani news was just coming down, and the first thing I wanted to go to was to Michael on the Ohtani stuff. You know how Michael loves counting that $700 million? I think Michael was saying $800 million. Michael initially was saying
40,
800.
40 hitter,
apiece.
40 pitcher, give him
Yeah.
80. Kind of what happened.
Yeah.
35 hitter, 35 pitcher. Same difference along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Emily mentioned this earlier. Happy birthday to legendary director Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
He turns 77 years old today. You're a Jurassic Park guy. I'm a Jaws.
More
and
the
Saving Private
kid,
Ryan.
as almost like the
great
nostalgia
movie.
of it. Yep.
It's a great movie. What are some of the other ones that you like?
You said Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
That's as good as it gets. It's kind of funny. For me, Jaws was... What year did Jaws come out?
75.
So it wasn't like... That's not really my world because I'm not born till 82. But Indiana Jones is my world.
Great one.
So the Indiana Jones, just kind of the series of all those movies. Schindler's List is as good as it gets too. So those are
Maybe not
more.
a movie you rewatch all the time because it's really hard to watch because of how important it is. But it's other ones of his are more rewatchable,
right? Like
You can watch Raiders of the Lost Ark again. You're not dipping into Schindler's List because you got 20 minutes to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a different one. Happy birthday, Michael! You're gonna like this. Stone Cold Steve Austin turns 59 years old today. Stone Cold Steve Austin is younger than Brad Pitt.
He's younger by a year, Brad Pitt, but Stone Cold looks good
And
too.
he looks great. He looks great. Brad Pitt looks like he's 27.
Yeah. I could see Michael, after a big Lakers win, like Stone Cold does, grabs 2 beers and just pops them together and takes them both down when he's at home.
Why not? This day, 1968, December 18th, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was released. Have you had the pleasure, Slee, of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No, you guys were talking about this earlier. I've not.
Hi ho, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. Hi oh. So my family used to have our road trips before DVDs were available in cars. My parents would strap in a TV with a VHS player on the bottom to the car, and then we'd play our VHSs. And so one of them was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So on long car trips, we'd watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Iron Giant, probably Jurassic Park.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, first of all, is 11 hours long. It's the longest kids movie in the history of the world. There's literally an intermission in the middle of the movie.
Dick Van
That's
Dyke's
how
in it,
long
right?
is. Dick Van Dyke is in it. It's a musical where they have all these. The plot of the movie is there's a flying car, but there's a guy that literally steals children off the street. That's that, and it's a kids movie.
What the hell?
And he's got like
and it's in Europe.
Think about like a dog catcher where they have that thing and like they got the cage in the back where they put the dog.
Yeah.
There's that, but there's stuff in kids in this thing. That's the plot of Chitty Chitty
But
Bang Bang.
Travis, they're having fun at the beach and they do they change a little thing at the beach or whatever. They all have the striped swimsuits on. So that's what I remember more. And also the one scene where she's just like a doll and she's like moving her arms like a doll.
Yeah. It's deeply creepy. Couldn't recommend it more. Today in 1995, Jerry Rice set the Monday Night Football record 289 yards receiving in a game against the Vikings. He also tied Herman Moore's NMF record, 14 catches, which Herman Moore got to keep for 2 weeks before Jerry Rice jumped on top of it.
Is he the greatest wide receiver you've ever watched?
Yes.
You've seen Puka and Cooper.
I have seen Puka. He only needs to do it for another 20 seasons, and he'll be right there.
And Jerry Rice, you can't argue it, right? Like you can make cases.
Him and Brady, I think, and Gretzky are like the guys. Like, who's the best quarterback? It's Tom Brady, and there are other great ones, but Brady,
Randy Moss.
Gretzky.
Well, this is where I was going to go.
Moss was great.
Where I was going to go.
Rice.
Randy Moss had moments where it was just like throw the ball up.
Moss is the most feared receiver ever. Come on.
Listen.
More feared
Michael, Randy Moss was literally one of those. Throw it as high as you want, throw it as far as you want, and Randy Moss is going to go get it.
That's different. Moss is great. I'm not here to say that Randy Moss was anything other than unreal, like the whole "you got Moss" thing. But Jerry Rice was the best at that position for nearly 20 years and put the records so far out of touch. They're like Gretzky kind of things. They're just above and beyond that no one's ever going to come. Even with the game changing the way that it has, no one's coming within a million miles of Jerry Rice. Michael.
Records are different from greatness. For example, Kareem has all the records. So does LeBron. But what do people say? Jordan's the greatest ever, right? So what do records mean?
They mean a lot. They mean a lot when you put, especially when you're
yes,
that
they mean
far
a
out
lot.
in front of
but
everybody
you can't
else.
say just because someone has the records that means they're the best.
Kobe had both of his jerseys retired today, 8 and 24. It was today in 2017. Hard to believe that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I remember that was one of the cooler nights at Crypto. John, I'm sure it's a very memorable game. Anybody who you had Kobe's final game with the 60. That was special for everybody, but at least on that day that you're talking about, the 8 and the 24 get to go up. It's more of a celebration, even though his last game was a celebration too. Just nobody thought he was going to be dropping 60.
Michael has a great take on this. He said and I wish people would listen to him. Why do we wait 5 years to retire people's uniforms that we know?
Or put them in the Hall of Fame.
Why are we waiting 5 years to put Tom Brady in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
Why did we? I mean, I'm glad they retired Kobe's numbers when he did, but they should have put him in the Hall, and then he could have been there instead of. I mean, it was great that Vanessa was able to go, and of course, none of us knew that he was going to tragically pass away. But why do
There's
we
no
wait
reason.
on
We
guys
shouldn't.
who are locked?
I was going to say, and especially what he's saying right there, there are certain players you're like, okay, yeah, well, this is just, let's just start the 5-year countdown. Well, for what? What's the point of having a 5-year countdown?
There shouldn't be. That's one of those, whenever the last pitch that Clayton Kershaw throws is, he goes in the Hall of Fame the next year.
Right.
And there's not a million of those guys. It's not like every team's got 2 or 3 of those guys on their roster, but Kobe, LeBron, Clayton Kershaw, it's ridiculous to wait.
I always say that, and I would appoint Michael Thompson to this job, but it could be someone else. Michael would be good at it, but there should be a minister of common sense.
Yes.
And this makes to make people like that wait, Mike. To make people like that wait for 5 years is insane. I know you've been saying it forever, but it just doesn't make any sense.
It was when they decided to retire both of his numbers. It was kind of one of those. All right, that's a little different. I'm so glad that that's how that went down.
So
that you did both.
There's an answer to this, by the way, John. You got your headphones on now. I would have stayed back there.
Yeah.
But there's an answer. It's because if they come out of retirement, it happened in
So
hockey
what?
a lot. But that's what happens. They don't want somebody.
What's the downside?
Because a guy like Jaromir Jagr is still playing.
Greg
overseas.
Popovich is in the Hall of Fame right now. Still coaching.
But it's not for it's players. That's the reason that they don't
But
want to play.
wait a minute.
I was going to say that's the reason, but do you agree with the reason?
No,
because I don't think it really.
Is there anything Tom Brady could do if he came out of retirement to disqualify himself from the Hall of Fame? No.
But they don't want you to be in the Hall of Fame if you're still playing.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So it's allowing you those few years to allow you
make
to
a decision if you come back.
Remember
if
Jim
you want
Palmer?
to or not come back.
Yeah.
Right, to pitch for the Orioles was
Steve
in the
Carlton,
Hall of Fame.
same way.
Right. Jim Palmer retired 5 years into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, and then it was like a year or two later he tried to make a comeback after that.
Well, Steve Carlton refused to retire. Remember, he just would cling on to any team that would have him.
But there's no downside. Nobody thinks, "Oh, Jim Palmer was a bum. He came back." It's like, fuck, you're in. Once you're in,
you
you're
got
in.
close there, buddy.
No, I didn't. What did you think I was going to say? I really didn't. I've gotten close before.
Just
that was,
hit it. Just
that was not one of
that
those
one was a little
times.
bit close.
That's not one of those times. You know what we should do right now? We should.
Yeah, let's do it.
Super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
You got to get on that mic. Sliwa and Mason are sharing a mic, which is
it's so
tremendous.
beautiful. This is the greatest bit of a Monday we've ever done.
Mike, it's very.
You guys should share headphones.
You can plug yours in.
No,
if one uses the 1/4-inch adapter and one uses the 1/8 inch,
like we're already this close.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
plus
fine.
we're not listening to anybody outside the room.
Why?
So there's a special reason that we're all gathered around, isn't there?
What are we
In
doing?
just a few minutes, we're going to bring in a very special friend of the radio station,
can't wait.
and he's got a gift for Travis, Johnny I, and myself.
And Mason?
A week
No.
before Christmas. God bless him.
But not Mason or Slee.
Okay, that's fine.
How you feeling today, Chris?
I'm beautiful. You?
You're good? I'm fantastic.
Mace tried to earlier tell me that the Rams have a top 10 defense.
No.
We looked at
Bad defense.
That's not a ridiculous statement.
Yesterday, I thought their defense was solid. Obviously, they stopped him, 14 times? Yesterday. I think their defense is really solid. I mean, they're for real. They may be, I think they're the best 7-7 team.
They're the
in
best
league.
team that's not one of the really good teams.
Yes.
Right? They're the best team that's not the Niners, the Ravens, maybe the Eagles. They're
Be a tough out in the
Mace,
playoffs.
there is no mechanism by which they could host a playoff game, right?
No,
Because they
they'll
would
be on
a
the
wild
road.
card.
On the road, no
San
matter
Even if the
Francisco
Niners
clinched-
get the bye?
No, because they clinched the division. So only
You got
division
Philly,
division
Dallas.
winners host playoff games in the first round.
Okay.
Yeah.
But and the Niners will have a bye. So
The only way they could host a playoff game is if they ended up as the 6th seed and they played the 7th seed in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
That's the only
Michael,
way.
you can come sit in
Which,
if
by
you're
the
ever-
way, happened when they beat the Niners. They
Last
weren't the
year,
6th seed,
or
but
2
they were the
years ago.
4th seed.
Yeah.
Michael
And they
has
got
a
it done.
great idea.
What's
he
that,
said
Michael?
the 7-7, they're the best 7-7 team, so they should get an in-season trophy award.
Yes, the IST.
An in-season tournament trophy
4
award.
out of 5. They won
Hang
the
it up.
IST.
Hey, coming.
it up.
They're doing a full ceremony. We're going to carry it live. We're breaking out the trophy. Dogs and cats living together. It's all happening tonight.
Okay, do you know what it looks like?
The banner?
Yeah.
No, I've not seen it.
Okay. We were talking about, like,
I'm
is
told
it the same
it is
size?
No, I'm told it is smaller and a different shape than the other
Okay,
ones. But
good.
I
That's a
have
good
not,
start.
It's a good start.
I have
I'm
not
with you.
seen it.
Yeah.
Does it have to go in that area?
Do they hang it at the other end of the arena?
No, we can just cover up the Taylor Swift banner if we need a new room.
I heard the Taylor Swift banner's gone.
Yeah, that's what somebody else said.
Yeah, somebody said it's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Well,
haven't
know.
seen it, and I've
The
been there a couple times.
The Clippers cover up everything.
Yeah,
so
true.
I'm sure the Clippers will cover this up too. But the Clippers are out of here at the end of this year.
That's
that
right.
thing
So
is
maybe
just
they
about
won't.
done. You went to the football game on
The LA
Saturday
Bowl?
night,
It was
right?
great.
The LA Bowl.
Yes.
Did you get a
All right, I have
glimpse
an
of the
idea for-
Intuit Dome as you went by?
We did, yeah.
Place is amazing.
All right.
We have
I have an idea for the LA Bowl. Okay? You guys heard Gronk sing the national anthem, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mason's national anthem is way better than Gronk's.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think next year, if it's Gronk again,
Yep.
we should jump on this early and have you sing the anthem in honor of the Gronk Bowl.
So
Awesome.
oddly enough, Sam Pines and I ran into Kevin Demoff on Saturday.
Oh, did you?
In the
How's
pregame.
Kev?
He was good. The only thing I really contributed to the conversation,
Yeah.
other than just listening to two very wise men,
Yep.
was saying, by the way, Kev, we really need to figure out the Mace national anthem. It was at that moment that he walked away.
Yeah, he's superstitious. Kevin's superstitious, and Mason did the "Whose House" chant,
Right.
And the Rams got blown out. They lost to Atlanta,
That's not
and so Kevin said, "Kevin, if Kevin's involved, he'll vote no. But if it's the LA Bowl,
Right.
I don't know if Kevin will have a vote."
Well, I don't think anybody will have much of a. I mean, Gronk is the one that wants it.
And it wasn't sold out, right, Chris?
No, but
All
it was a nice crowd.
Was it a
actually.
nice crowd?
I wish I wore Boise
Who
State
won the
gear.
game?
UCLA.
Well, I
UCLA
thought
did
you would have
win.
been the only one.
No, there were tons of Boise. Wait, by the way,
What is it? Blue and
How did the
orange?
Blue and
right?
orange, yeah.
How did UCLA represent?
pretty well, but half was Boise State. By the way, John, some talent coming out of Boise State. You know what I mean?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because I'm heading up to Idaho fairly
beautiful.
regularly, so I'd like to hear that.
That's your home away from home.
It is. So, but we're pretty far from Boise, though.
What's the biggest crowd you've ever sung the anthem in front of?
Probably.
Well, you did it at Dodger Stadium on a
Dodger
pretty
Stadium,
crowded night.
Yeah, 50,000.
That's the
I
night
would
Jamie
say.
McCourt grabbed your butt.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, nice.
Well, I would say she patted me on the ass, is what I would say.
Okay.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, as a matter of fact. Jamie would.
That's back when
can't-
Project Jamie was alive. If she would have been elected president, you could have been in the
Oh,
cabinet.
that's right. Remember, she was going to be the president of the United States.
Yeah, Charles Steinberg was going to be chief of staff. You could have been like Secretary of Agriculture.
Yes, if you were in her cabinet, and you got your choice of positions, what would you choose?
I'm trying to think of the one that does the least.
Oh, no, you should be in charge of the FDA.
Agriculture.
Yeah,
If
the
you know
FDA
what-
is good.
if
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I do.
Secretary of the Interior.
Mace.
You go to parties.
Mace.
Yeah.
In national parks.
Mace.
Hello. Yes.
Mace, Secretary of Agriculture. That way you can grow all your weed you want.
Hey,
There you
Secretary
go.
of Agriculture.
Either
Michael
one
Thompson
works.
nails it. Yeah.
Legalize it, right?
Yes.
That would be your entire platform.
And then, but you know how you have to pick a guy when they do State of the Union?
Yep.
They often pick the Secretary of Agriculture, and that means if the entire
You're the
cabinet
designated
is
survivor.
wiped out, you're the designated survivor.
It's me?
It's all
President
you.
Mace.
Oh, yes.
It's all on you.
Designated survivor.
That'd be excellent.
What, am I crazy, or was there kind of a weird vibe at SoFi yesterday?
In what sense?
What way?
It was like it was the first time all season where it felt like the Rams were going to flick aside an inferior opponent.
Yes.
The opponent had completely run up the white flag,
Yep.
and it was let's just get to the next and most important game. That it did. There was no tension involved.
Well,
Yes,
were you guys,
I agree.
Were
Yeah.
you guys aware of the shenanigans with the betting, the over/under at the end of the game?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I was not.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It's
so
so
were you,
good.
were you there?
Yeah.
All right, so had they made that extra point,
Right.
it would have kicked in the over.
Oh.
When they missed it, it activated the under.
Oh.
And they didn't even go for two. I mean, the analytics said go for two because
Yeah.
then it makes it a 2 field goal game.
And they went for one
No,
and
They
missed
went
it.
for one and got it blocked.
So if you go down by, this is what the Titans did to the Packers on Monday Night Football the week before. If you're down 14, you go for two the first time through because if you get it, now a touchdown wins the game.
Right, and also
And
you
if
can
you
tie it
miss-
with 2 field goals.
Right, but you're probably not getting it back twice in that situation. You're
Right.
probably only getting it one more time. So if you get it back the second time and you made it, you win. If you missed it, you can still go for two and still tie the game.
Yeah,
there was no reason to kick it.
No,
None.
no.
If
Yeah,
I was,
no
if,
reason.
If I was head coach, I'd go for two almost every time. I'd need a reason not to
You
go.
and
for
Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
in stereo.
Dean will sign you in no time.
Well, the
In
job's
no time.
open.
You're the man.
By the way, Trav, you explained that a lot better than Jay Feely on the broadcast. He's horrible. Oh,
Wait a minute, what's wrong with Jay Feely? I
the
like
play-
Jay Feely.
Oh, it is not good. He is not good as the third man. It's
Who was
not good.
doing the
they had
game?
a
Is
three-man
Jay Feely
game
and
today?
who?
Jay Feely, James Lofton, and somebody I don't remember who was doing play.
Yeah, it was weird because Fox normally does NFC games, but this year
Yeah.
they've been juggling
It's
a
the
lot.
weirdest thing. It was
So CBS.
It was
took the
actually
game.
great though
had the
because
game,
then
yeah.
we got Cowboys. We
Right.
got
We got them
Buffalo.
both.
Yeah, Cowboys Bills here.
nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
The double header.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although a
All
blowout,
right, so
right?
Chris, set this up. What are we getting here?
Okay, now first off, I know Slee keeps looking at me like, so why did Morales make us share mics if this
Oh
was
no! I actually we prefer doing this.
Yeah,
Because
no, we absolutely
here's
do.
why. Because
From
it's a
now
great
on,
bit.
This
No,
is how I
this
want to
is-
do
The
it.
fact that this mic has been open for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
but we're
it's a great bit.
I didn't even think about
Didn't
that.
you tell me to be here?
No, 100%. Because
Okay.
we need this for our special guest.
Okay,
But
good.
we didn't need it for the whole time.
we're comfortable.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm.
don't know
I
why
mean,
we-
I
And
think we'll do
Sliwa
it this
couldn't have
way
just
from now
slid
on.
over.
He
at
could
some
have, but
point.
then we wouldn't have the B-roll. And
Yes.
the B-roll is valuable.
It does look good.
At
It
this
is-
moment,
it's cute.
let's bring in from the other room our friend Chris Smith from Maine Electrical Supply.
All
He's got some gifts for us, courtesy of LA Golf. Now, if you're familiar with LA Golf is a new golf company. Paige Sporonic is involved with them, and we all love Paige.
Yeah, that's Michael's favorite golfer.
Oh, I've seen
serious.
It's a lot of people's favorite golfer.
She's very good at
If
golf.
you ask Michael who his favorite golfer is, he will answer Paige Sporonic.
Don't we all? Chris, how are you? Come on, get close to the mic here. Chris is a little closer. Chris is a
See how
P1
on
listener.
top of this I am, Chris. You got to be right on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
All right.
That'd be awesome. I'm going to share this one.
Chris is a P1 listener. He says his favorite show is Mason and Ireland, I think.
Thank you, Chris.
So at least one Chris has Mason and Ireland as their favorite
Yes,
show.
that's right.
We didn't even write that. That was great.
This, Chris.
That was all from Chris.
Yeah. Oh, Chris, you got to get a little energy for me. You're giving us gifts now. We're excited.
Well,
right,
I'm
no-
excited for you guys to see them.
All right, well, what
Let's
are we
go.
getting? What are we getting, Chris? Explain what we're getting.
Okay, so what we have behind us is LA Golf putters, completely customized, the most technologically advanced putter on the market.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Trav.
beautiful, man.
Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack. You dial it in on the laser and just shoot it into the hole.
So let's start opening. Ron Mitchell, our MC of the year, if you can bring the boxes over here, because I want to see how they differ, because they're all custom.
Right. Wait a minute, they're all custom?
They're all custom. We gave them custom
they
specs.
They asked us for specs a couple of weeks
got
ago.
It.
Wow. And
so these are made for you specifically.
Exactly.
And then once we get all these out of the box, I want to compare our putters. I want to see who's got the bigger one.
Yeah, who's got a bigger putter is a
Chris,
good question.
I'll compare putters anytime.
Oh, look at this. This is beautiful.
But now the question is,
Okay,
once you get the box.
so there are putters.
Trav's
a beautiful LA golf.
He's got it. He's got
putters are being opened.
Oh, wow. Oh, golf balls, too.
Oh, beautiful,
golf
man.
balls.
John
There's
is
the putter.
getting there. John's got a little.
Ireland's having trouble.
There it is.
There he is.
There it is.
He's got it. He's got it.
Oh, I'm all over this.
Yeah.
Right now, I borrowed James Worthy's putter, and I made a bunch of putts, so I haven't given it back to him yet. Now maybe I'll give it back to him.
Chris, this is absolutely beautiful.
Unreal. I mean, it's beautiful, first of all, and it's nice and heavy, which I love. This is fantastic.
Is yours bigger than mine, John?
Why? Because it matches your build, so to speak.
Right. I'm a man of a certain carriage, John. Yes, indeed. This is great.
This.
You know what? I'm taking a ball out of the sleeve. We're going to roll a couple here in the studio.
Oh, John's is slightly bigger than mine.
I've heard that, Chris.
You went with the short and stubby, Chris?
I like it a little short so it gets in my hands more.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
You can handle the putter.
I was actually surprised.
John, let
how
me
short
see.
yours
Let me see
was.
yours.
I love it.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Did you do the jumbo?
I did.
Trav, I did too. You're even longer than me.
I'm longer than John.
What'd you go? I went 35. Did you go 37?
I went 30, whatever the longer one was.
Yeah. Well, you're taller than me.
Yeah.
Well, our friends at LA
Chris,
Golf.
thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
I'm serious. I will wear. I mean, these guys all know, but I will wear this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll use it all the time.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, how can people get these if they want to buy them?
Go to the website for LA Golf, lagolf.com.
LAGolf.com. Beautiful.
Ooh, nice and soft.
How is that?
Appropriately, Chris, mine says Bel Air. Which is a course that I rarely play, but I'll take it.
Oh, mine does too.
Mine does as
Which
well.
is inappropriate for me because I will never be welcome.
They'll
back.
never let you.
No. Once they see some of my social media videos, once they see the one of me giving you the dump truck,
it's over.
I'll never be invited to Bel Air.
The dump truck
How
video
is your neck, by the way, since then?
Mine. I've actually.
Is there a workers' comp claim coming in our future?
I will tell you coming up.
I don't think you can blame that on the dump truck.
No, it's not the dump truck.
Ice skating?
No, it's
He
not
didn't
the
fall.
ice skating.
How did you do on
Wait,
the
you
on
got
the
hurt
ice?
anyway?
I've got a
Something's going
rotator
on?
cuff thing that's going all the way. I've talked about the rotator cuff thing. Now it's radiating down my arm.
Who are you, Brandon McCarthy?
So I talked to Clapper, and Clapper's got me in for an MRI and all kinds of stuff.
Did you say, how are you?
How are you?
I miss Dr. Clapper.
I miss Dr. Clapper, too.
I heard a rumor we're working on getting him back.
Are
I
we?
hope it happens.
I'm trying.
Weekend Warrior may be coming back.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Or maybe
Bring it back.
we'll give him 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. if he wants it.
10 a.m. to 1 p.m.?
I don't want
It was
Saturdays or
Mason and I need to break this
anyone
one
on Saturdays or Monday through Friday?
It's not a Morales appearance unless we get one of those for sure.
I couldn't do it to Mason Iron. They're sitting right here. And this is
So
Chris
are we.
Smith. No, but this is Chris Smith's favorite show, Mason
We're at
Iron.
the end of our show.
We're
at
sitting
the
right
end.
here too.
I
It
love
never occurred to him.
this.
Never occurred to him at all.
Chris, you're a good man. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Good seeing you guys.
Beautiful,
Enjoy.
beautiful.
Chris,
golf
thank you
club.
very much. Seriously.
Will you be a better putter now, John? Is that something that because
I could not miss on Saturday. I could not miss. We have a thing in our game. You know, we give out dots for junk.
Sure.
Black people like golf. Can a brother get a putter?
Well, I beat you on your own putting green. Yeah, if you can't beat me at your own house on your putting green, you don't
I know.
deserve a putter.
Never challenge a white man in golf.
Trav, we get a thing. If you make a putt longer than the pole, you get a
you get a
pulley.
pulley? Sure.
5 consecutive pulleys. My friends were ready to kill me. I just got hot and everything went in. And now that I got this putter, I'm going for 7.
You double pulleys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not looking to put your business on the street, but what is the value of a pulley in an Ireland game? Is it $1?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you win $3.
Okay.
Every time you did it. But so I had 5
$1
bucks
from everybody in the group.
Yeah, so $15 for that putting
pretty good.
expedition. Exactly.
We're going to have to extend your pulley range.
Well, don't we all? Anytime you want to extend my pull, I'll take it.
That's a good place to say. Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger's all